The following program is presented by Large Ray's Slow Roast Coffee Sticker Company. Large Ray's Slow Roast Coffee. It's like when you're roasting a guy, but you do it real slow.
Oh hey, welcome back to the next level of Fact or Freestyle.
Doing stuff in your life the moment you decide that you want to do it. So anyone who's having trouble executing ideas, this is what we did. Stony, can I get a sound check?
Can I get
up there? You can get a whoop whoop.
I've been needing to talk to you for a while.
Okay, let's catch up before Ray comes on.
You know how when you're brainstorming ideas and you're just kind of sitting there and they're just downloading into your head and you know you weren't planning it, it's coming for you so that you can take those ideas and put them into the world?
Yep.
Somehow my silver cord is cut.
What are you talking about?
It just stopped. All of my creativity stopped being downloaded into my head.
When?
Probably within about the last month and a half. And I've been noticing it because usually if I'm at work, my brain, I go into a consciousness and I start daydreaming about things I wanted or downloading. And then I go home and I write it down. And there's a whole physical change that happens when I'm going through it. Like my heart starts pumping, my pupils are dilated, I'm excited, and it stopped. And I don't know how to, it's like I've been binded. I've been bound.
Oh, you've been bound. I had keep going.
Now, I don't know if there's something that if someone did that to me or if there's something I can do to reverse it, but I'm stuck. Like my social media presence has come to a grinding halt because there's like, there's no bullets in the chamber.
There's no bullets in the chamber. Can I ask a couple of clarifying questions?
Please do.
Do you have the feeling and no download, or do you have, I'm trying to figure out the matrix. It's like feeling and download. So do you get the feeling?
I start to.
Okay.
And then I'm like, but I don't know if, because it used to be the whole feeling and then it just kind of shrank. And I don't know if there's only a little bit left of my superpowers.
No. Your superpowers are infinite. Trust me. We're going to work this out. So I got a 2x2. We're going to talk about feeling and download.
It's so frustrating too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I'm used I'm used to getting in the headspace. Okay, cool. And then it just takes on a life of its own. And like I said, it just stopped.
What's your ritual? Like, how do you get, I'm trying to figure out if you start the download and then that amps up the feeling, which opens the download, or if you start with a feeling and then get a download. Like, I'm trying to figure out which starts the flywheel.
The snowball starts just rolling downhill by itself. Like I don't even make the snowball; it just shows up.
Is that what you call it when it starts?
The snowball?
Yeah.
I call it snowball spider web.
What do you call it when it's in full bloom?
Freaking awesome.
Do you have a name for it?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I've always called it downloads.
Yeah. Just gonna. And it always starts with a snowball or
like
spider
a
web.
small grain of sand just rolling down the hill, and before I know it, it's gigantic, and I'm making memes about Ray.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Has this tap ever run dry before?
No, this is the first time.
Oh wow. When did you first notice? So you have language to this feeling? When did you first put words to it? Do you remember?
To it stopping or starting, or in general?
To the whole process of the download, you called it the silver thread. Like at what point did you develop that language?
At some point, it was before I met R.L. Osborne. So probably about 3 or 4 years ago. Because I remember before I even met R.L. Osborne, I got a download in my head to every single thing, every single edit that I was going to make. And it was the weirdest thing. It was fantastic because me sitting there trying to think of this, I couldn't come up with this by myself.
Right. That's the thing. People are like, oh my gosh, you have so much time. And it's like, no, it just happens. And I get it out as fast as possible.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny.
Now I'm stuck.
How have you been sleeping?
Pretty well, actually.
Would you like to run an experiment?
Absolutely.
Okay. We're gonna call this one Stoney's Shrimp Rock. This is a mildly surgical intervention. And it comes, and I'm not even kidding, you can ask Todd about this. Every shrimp rock comes with a steward's manual, not an owner's manual, a steward's manual. And it is about, how many pages? I was just making one for somebody. Give me a second here. And it tells the story of where, like when the shrimp rock was born and where it was born. And then it goes on to talk about how to use the shrimp rock. Okay, so it's 7 pages. It's
Hold
7
on.
pages.
Time out. My pen died and I don't want to miss anything that I need. Hold on, let me grab another pen.
Yep.
Pause your brainwave because I want you to pick up right where you left off.
Yeah.
Scream real loud for me if you need me. Okay? Scream real loud for me if you need me. Okay. All right, so it's got a manual, an instruction manual.
It does have an instruction manual.
Would you call it a steward manual?
A steward's manual, because you are not the owner, you are the steward of it. And what you do is you adopt it. And so it's going to be under your care for a certain period of time, but you don't own it. You are symbionts. And so but like any magical entity, you have to know, like you have to be told how it works, because it's like a chainsaw. It'll work for sure, but I don't want you to cut your hands on it. And so this, and it also contains like warnings of what you're going to experience, and it tells you what not to be afraid of. It says, there's a line in here that I love. When this all pops for you, make notes about what you realize. Write them however you feel is natural. You are not a missionary, but people will be curious. Those who are curious and well-intentioned are the ones whose questions you should answer. If you don't know the answer, say, I don't know, I'll ask my shrimp rock and get back to you. Ray was skeptical. Ray never got the steward's manual, but I talked to Ray about this. Ray got his shrimp rock. He wore it. He wore it to Hall of Fame. Warren took it and wore it.
Oh God.
And then
sounds like a Brady Bunch episode.
Yeah. Tara Lane's life partner was gifted it by Warren. There's video of us. We were just having, Tara got inducted as well. We're having breakfast and I've got the shrimp rocks out because they're absorbing the stoke, because you have to train the shrimp rocks. That's why these things are so, like, you're a steward, you don't own it. I put a lot of work into these things, exposing them to the stoke. So, and I was telling Tracer Finn's wife this story the day before. So anyway, I'm telling Mark about it, and Tara's life partner is hearing this. She looks over and she goes, "What is he talking about?" And Warren goes, "He believes every word he's saying." And she goes, she looks down and Warren goes, "Go ask him." And she goes, "What are those?" And I go, "Magical amulets." And she stands up and walks around. This video is on the Instagram. Anyway, so I put a lot of work into these, but there's a very specific way you have to use it. And now when I gave Ray his, I wrote down what his dream would be. Ray calls me. It was after we shot the last show, and he goes, "Joe, I gotta call you after we hang up here and tell you what my dream was." And there was one detail that was off.
Really?
Yeah. Spot on. And my plan was to write it down, and then when Ray told me to unveil it, like the handwriting and all that. But it's downstairs. I jumped on the call with Ray as fast as I could. And I picked words that I expected Ray to say. He didn't exactly use those words because it took him a little while to get it out, because he was rattled by it. He was rattled by it because he's like, "Joe, you told me I was going to have the dream, and I made fun of you for an entire year. I have the dream. I know what it means." And there was another huge backstory about it, but it was just so awesome. It was so awesome. So anyway, if you're up for it, let's see if we can get your connection to the stoke reestablished so that you can get the downloads and the snowballs.
I literally, like, you see the cartoons of Superman when somebody kryptonites him. Yep. And he goes to use his powers, but they're just not there. He's shooting blanks. Mm-hmm. Joe, yep. This is driving me insane because I'm so used to, like, being able to read into things that it just comes to me. And now I'm looking at everything and it's all in Japanese. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this. This does not compute.
wait a second, you're in a whole new world. Like you have to learn all the new signs.
Great.
Oh, you did. You got dropped somewhere else. You got to learn all the signs again. These are new signs.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
You're
Like,
a
I quantum
stranger in a
leaped.
strange land. You're a stranger in a strange land.
Like a different Stoke. One Stoke left, another one entered, and now I have to figure it out.
Now you have to figure it out. You'll
Who
figure
has
it out.
time
Of
for
course.
this?
Oh, you'll figure it out like just during the day. You've got so much time to think about stuff. Like you can think about this stuff doing chores.
Have you ever listened to Moby's Everything Is Wrong, I think it's called?
It's been a minute, I believe so, but I'm going to refamiliarize myself with this. Tell me about it.
Really, really, really strong trance music. And I've found that if I listen to it with one headphone in usually the right ear, it shoots me into the gateway. And that's not working anymore. What's up, Ray?
Stoney!
Man, are
What's
you
up,
missing
dude?
some conversation?
Oh my gosh.
No, I've heard everything Joe ever would say. I know everything that comes out of his head. Nothing surprises me. There's nothing new. He's got nothing going on.
Tell
You know what I
Stoney
mean?
what you believe. I
It's
was
like-
just telling Stoney.
What? You'd probably just something about someone buying a sticker and putting it on coffee is my guess.
There has been a lot of that. Tracer Finn ordered coffee today, and
Yeah, see, you got to leave Tracer alone. Come on, he's just doing it because he's my friend. These poor people, I have like 6 friends, so you're going to sell 6 bags of coffee, dude. Come on, man.
I'm
Wow,
not
Kevin Martin's there.
Kevin Martin.
What's up, fuckers?
What's up, Kevin?
Where's
What's
your
up?
clipboard?
Dude,
What's
the
that?
clipboard picture was that it was like
Yeah, where did that come from? That was awesome.
I love it. It's got it was either Stoney or Joe that made that.
I got the idea from Stoney when he did the Ray Team ad for the tour, and I was like, we're gonna get Wilkerson a new apprentice, and so what would that even look like? And I looked for the A-Team van, and then that one was like blurry because it was an action shot, and I did that in between cleaning the floor and starting my massage.
Oh my god. This is starting the Joe Sisman self massage kit. That's what you got to sell.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's
the
a
coffee
sweet,
stickers.
That's a sweet spot right there.
So Kevin, what did you think of the zine? Did you have time to read that piece of amazing literature?
Oh, the whole thing, cover to cover.
Yeah.
Ray's wife read it to him as a bedtime story.
Who did? Ray's wife?
Yes.
We got it on video.
That's
And then
awesome.
and it was funny, she wanted to read it the next night, and she goes, we got to do what it says, and I'm like, no, now you're falling into Joe's trap. Stop it.
You're going down the rabbit hole.
Oh god.
So are you up for being one of the Amish dudes that reenacts the first
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm about as far from Amish, so if I can live a brief period of time where I'm playing an Amish person, sounds fantastic.
Oh my god. Can you imagine Kevin going to the Hall of Fame dressed as an Amish guy, giving Gork a hard time that they moved the helmet from out of the case?
Yes,
I thought
can
the helmet was
imagine that.
stolen. Is that true?
No, it wasn't stolen, but Joe won't
did-
let that helmet be put in the archives. He wants it prominently displayed next to Eddie's helmet. Oh,
Why not?
Every
Well, why
time
not?
one of my friends goes to visit, they send me pictures of it. I got a shot from Prashil Gopal this morning.
I haven't been there yet. I gotta get down there and check it out.
What did he give you a shot of? Is it still there or is it gone?
Yeah, and I know that it's a different shot because
It's
it
in
was
the
turned.
case still?
It's still in the case. Yeah, and they're taking it out and putting it back in. Like they are passing this helmet around, and you can tell because Greg Sutherland sent me a picture, I think 2 days ago, and it's just slightly turned. Same perspective.
Dude,
Straight
that
to the
thing
case.
shouldn't be touched. It'll last longer. This is like Jackie
Yeah.
Onassis's dress at the Smithsonian. It shouldn't be handled
You know
without
what it
gloves.
is? That helmet
We
has
put it
so
on.
many things. That helmet has so many things that go back to my crazy BMX career, because that helmet actually, like if that helmet's in there, it brings attention to the case because it doesn't look like all the other helmets. They're like, why is this shit bucket in here? You know what I mean? Like, why is this here? Like people will walk past the helmets and be like, oh, look, there's some helmets. But my helmet will make people stop and go, why is this busted up helmet in here with all this? And then
Exactly.
who's Large Ray? They have no idea. And that's the same thing back in the AFA when there'd be 78 people at a contest, and then I would go, and everyone would stop and go, we think the janitor stole a bike. What's this guy doing out here? Oh wait a minute, that's Gary Pollock's friend. He's the one that talks too much. Now we get it.
Well, I'm gonna have my agents dropping those zines into the racers' prize packs and the audience. Like, he's gonna put them on the concession stand.
Nice.
And people are gonna pick these things up.
Can you put a little note in all those that I have very little to do with any of this? Because I'm gonna start getting like hate mail and stuff. Like people and just
like
direct it
that's
all to
something
Stoney.
new?
Well, now you get hate mail because now people can leave comments on stuff, you know. So
yeah,
I'm not out to hurt anybody, you know. And I don't mean hurt like
Kevin. Where did you see any hurt in any of this?
No, it's no hurt. It's just that people will be like, "What's Ray doing?" Like Ray must not have anything going on. He must.
It's hard to prove
busy.
emotional damage and pain, and they try to do it in court every day. So you have to kind of walk that fine line there.
But it's okay. So first off, it's unprovable. Second, I can't see when anyone would get hurt by this amazing helmet sent from. Actually, Stoney needs to get his groove on. We're gonna send Stoney into the Hall of Fame, and he's gonna put the helmet on, and he's gonna reconnect with the Stoke.
I have to go all the way to Oklahoma.
Yeah, the case opens right up. It's not like you can steal everything in there. You could just take every helmet out of there and just walk out. There's no security system except Gork, I think. Gork's the security.
So is there a secret
case is going to be cleared out tomorrow? Except for the
is there a secret underground webpage of just people wearing the helmets and nothing else?
I have a photo of Kevin wearing it.
And nothing else?
Do you really?
No, he's on. We went to one of those. We were up in your hood for the first the second Kevin Robinson thing, and you showed up and had one of those new type of Haros, and then you put the helmet on, and we got a photo for you got to take a photo.
Fair enough.
Stoney, I think that's a good. Maybe you need to do some collecting. Like being a beachcomber, like you can find all of these pictures of people wearing the helmet. Like we had Bobby Burge put it on, and on my birthday, and he went out and did this awesome wheel walk. One and done.
Cool.
What do you think, Stoney?
Sounds excited.
I don't think you can say pass. Did you hear the? You can say pass.
Did you hear the gasp? Did you hear the gasp? I heard a gasp.
It's not an immediate pass. It's man. I would be down to do this, but it's a time issue. So now I have to figure. It's like I have to figure out how to make it happen because nothing comes easy. Nothing worth it comes easy. Or wait, what's that saying? Nothing worth it comes easy, and nothing easy comes worth it.
Nothing worthwhile comes easy.
Thank you. That one.
That's
Yeah.
not true.
We've
There's been
proven
a
it.
lot of easy stuff.
I've
in
had a
Ray's
lot
life.
of yeah.
Oh, speaking
sometimes-
of, I'm gonna get a call around 4:30, and then I have to go immediately.
What? Who could that be? Who could be calling you? Like, what could you? Who's calling you on a Saturday at 4:30? That you got
calling
to
me on
drop
a Saturday?
everything. I got to put an
Dare you.
Angie sushi order. I know. Angie gets done work at 4:29, and then she's gonna call me to put her sushi order in because she doesn't like talking to the lady on the phone. So I got to do it. So you got to hang up.
That was
pretty close,
remarkably. That was remarkably
Accurate. Yeah.
Hey Kevin, if we're gonna find, all right, so we want to interview apprentices,
Okay.
candidates to be Ron's apprentice, because we
Oh
think it's
my
been
God.
too long, and he needs to teach again.
Apprentice
we-
for riding or just life?
A little of both, but I think you would only want to know that way of life if you were a rider.
Yeah, honestly, for me, I couldn't handle the stress of another Ron in my life or anyone like Ron. There's only enough bandwidth. I walk the line of insanity being Ron's friend. It's been challenging.
Okay.
So
now,
if you're gonna bring someone in, yeah, we need someone who's cut from that fabric, who can do it and pull it off. Boy, that's tough.
So there's 5 people like you that we found.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I know somebody you could interview that could give you. Do you know who Jerry Severson is?
No.
One of the interview questions, without a doubt, is going to have to be, do you know where every emergency room is in a 1,000-mile radius of where you and Ron may be at any given moment? That's important.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Basic first aid might be helpful too. Recognition.
You went to school for EMT because of your friendship with Ron.
Absolutely, 100%. And trust me when I say I stood over Ron several times while he was unconscious, looking at the people around who were on the phone with 911, going, he's having a seizure. This isn't good. Like, this is really bad. Like, he's been injured quite a bit. So yes.
And half of those just from him smoking something.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I didn't get into that part.
No. Hey Joe, there's a guy, Jerry Severson. He's on FaceTime, Face World, or Facebook, and he also might be his name might be King of the Skate Parks on Facebook. But Jerry, he's from I think he's from like Minnesota, but he dropped everything as an adult. He dropped everything and moved to wherever Wilkerson was to run or work at 2 Hip. And
I did hear about this dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like he went there and thought it was going to be like, working at like the GT factory and doing all this stuff. And it was
quite.
it was like basically Ron was like living in a tree house and like the stuff was underneath a pole barn. And Ron was just like, can you do this, do that, and gave him like all this shit to do. And I don't think Ron was gonna pay him. I think the dude just came out because he was a fan of Wilkerson. But if you could get him on to talk about it, it would be your #1 episode. It would easily be your #1 episode. People would not be able to stop watching it.
That would be awesome, because that wasn't that long ago, right, Ray?
No, I mean not long ago, meaning like less than 20 years ago, I think. Yeah. But the dude went out there thinking like he was going to be like working side by side with Wilkerson and just getting it done. And he's like, I went there.
Jerry Severson.
Yeah, and I think the funniest part is I think when he said I went to, and I could be making this part up, But I think when he like went to quit and leave, he couldn't even find Ron and just was like, all right, and he just like, climbed back down the treehouse and left or something. Like
Actions speak louder than words.
I don't know how it all worked out, but I just remember him telling me the story and I couldn't stop laughing. And he was like, what's so funny? And I'm just like, this is the greatest story ever. Oh, you got to get him on.
Was it a Karate Kid thing where like Mr. Miyagi, being Ron, was teaching him life lessons through hard work?
It was that, but the exact opposite.
I would say almost the exact opposite.
Exact opposite.
Yeah. You had to come out
what is Oppo, Mr. Miyagi? Mr. Oppo Miyagi.
That would be Sensei Kobal.
What?
Wait, no.
What did he do?
What did Miyagi
describe? No, Kevin, please, like,
just so now keep in mind
one example.
Of working for Ron.
Yeah, like
dude, you got to remember for a minute. I started working for Ron 6 months after I moved into the Ramp House, and he got a massive head injury and was in a coma. And then a month before, I got beat up and I was in the hospital for 2 weeks with a head injury. So the two of us were trying to run this fucking business, both concussed and head injured. And Ron didn't even know where he lived or what he did for a living. And when he wandered out of the house, he was lost. Like, so this is that period of time.
Oh my gosh.
But I will tell you one of the most hilarious moments with Ron, and it's really not a detriment to Ron, but it's just a funny story. We came back from a contest and we had like $20,000 in cash, t-shirt money or whatever, because back then, of course, everybody had cash. And we're counting the money. He goes, all right, we got to count the money. So we start counting the money, and it's all ones, fives, tens, and we're counting it. And that song by Ecstasy came on, Census Working Overtime. And so every time during the song that the chorus was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we had to stop counting and we couldn't talk to each other and we just literally were laughing so hysterically by the end. It was just ridiculous. I think one of the two of us threw all our money in the air and we just this is just dumb. But no, working with Ron on a day-to-day basis, and I'm not even talking about like the risk involved in driving those fucking trailers all over the country. Like, dude, I had driven a couple of small like BMX trailers in the 80s until I worked for Ron, who buys a 48-foot trailer that's on a regular ball hitch that's got 16,000 pounds of lumber in it, and he gives me a Ford Dually and he goes, take this to Schenectady. And I'm like, okay,
no problem.
Okay,
take this to Schenectady.
And they were in Alaska.
No, but here's some of the other stuff. Hey, Ron, do you think we need think we need the lights to work for the trailer? Nah, you'll be fine. Ron, do you think we need a license plate or to register it? He goes, nah, you'll be fine. I go, what am I supposed to do about like the weigh stations? He goes, just drive past them. And he still runs his life this way 35 years later.
He runs on faith.
Yeah,
he just runs on the no, it's cool. Everybody be cool all the time. And I'm like, oh my God. Touring with him, we did shows in like Kmart parking lots, like for bike shops, because they didn't have a good place to have the show. And I would say, Ron, we're just going to have the show here. He goes, what are we going to, and then the manager would come out and go, what are you doing? And he'd make up some name at corporate and just send them on a fool's errand to go try to track down this person that they talked to in Chicago. And then by the time they came out to throw us out, we were finished anyway.
The way to do it.
That's the way he ran it.
Well, that was his superpower, though. Like, if you live in Ron world long enough, you don't know any different. So you just keep going about it that way, because if it didn't work, he wouldn't do it.
Yes, but keep in mind, Ron has ended up in jail a few times along the way, too.
But hold on, was that because of his methods, or was that because of something
he decided
to do?
He just decided to be a dick to cops a long time ago, and only very recently has he come around to realizing, wow, if you're just cool to them, they're usually cool back. And I was like, wow.
Who would have thought?
If you're just honest with them and don't treat them like pieces of shit, they usually let you get away with the small bag of weed or the trespassing that you were doing on your, you know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. I remember we were getting almost beat up by the Paramus police one night with them. Goes on, dude.
Where is Paramus? I've heard of that.
New Jersey. We were in Paramus, New Jersey, in a mall parking lot, and we got busted by the fucking rental cops. And they called, and he started being total dick to them, and they called the real cops. And then the real cop came and showed up, and basically, this is in the 80s, basically told Ron to apologize to the mall cop, or he was going to knock his teeth out and arrest him. And Ron had to stand there and apologize to these mall cops. It was shocking.
Was it a
I would
good
love
apology?
to hear that apology.
I want to hear that apology.
Oh, dude, it was
Can
good.
you reenact the apology?
Yeah, reenact it.
Pardon me, Jesus, but I'm sorry
Dude,
that I made
you
fun
know
of
what?
you and your job.
Because he realized that there was no witnesses and we were about to get our asses kicked. That's why he did it. And he was just like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got out of line. And, you know, and we weren't even drinking. We didn't even have booze on our side.
That's
we weren't
really
even
scary.
drinking.
My friendship with Ron has been, it's had little sections, you know, the sober head injured part, the drunk and drug fueled crazy part, and now the sober part again. So, you know, we're little chapters.
Why would Dave want to go on tour with Ron?
Well, Dave knows though. Dave's lived this way as well. He knows full well. And it is pretty funny to be in that universe again with these three guys and just seeing they operate exactly the same way. You just tell Brian where to go and he's going to go there. He's not going to sweat it. He's going to adapt. Brian is the human chameleon, dude. He'll get it done. Dave is the mama bear. Dave is details and time, punctuality, means something. And Ron is just like he is like a fucking runaway fucking NASCAR into a crowd of people that has no brakes and no steering left, and the gas pedal is stuck. That is Ron.
And the gas pedal is stuck.
You just gotta hang on when you're in the back, man.
So, do you know who would do this? I mean, it sounds like this is a very unique person.
I don't know. Do you have anyone in mind? Are we talking about someone with a BMX past, or just you know?
I mean, who else?
Why does he need an apprentice? Why does he need an apprentice? What are you talking about?
Oh, why?
Why does Ron need an apprentice? For what?
For stories.
I think the question is really, why do I want to see Ron get an apprentice?
We already know that because it's months of material and you can write a zine about it.
Yes, it's material funneled right to Joe. That's why he knows it.
That's the best idea I came up with. I started writing, like I wrote Ron a zine. You know how he wrote to Elton John and Elton John didn't write back? I wrote a zine to Ron, and one of the questions I was like, oh, hey, do you think that the Naked Gumby is actually some type of shamanic rite that transforms people? And I wanted to know what his answer was.
Okay. And did you get an answer?
I didn't get an answer.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yet.
Wow. Wonder why.
Dude, I went riding with Ron about 2 months ago in Brooklyn, and I had to leave. Like, I had to go. I'm like, Ron, it takes Ron all morning to do anything, so we're going to the skate park. I help him get set up. I try to film and shit like that. I leave because I got to go deal with my shit. About 2 months, I hadn't talked to him in 2 months, and I go, oh, what's been going on? And he goes, oh, well, I broke my pelvis. I go, when did you break your pelvis? And he goes, oh, the day you were with me in New York. What? And then he tells the story of with a broken pelvis, trying to get him and all his shit on an airplane so he can fucking go home and get treatment for it.
Oh, what?
Yes, that's a day with Ron, dude. It's a day with Ron.
Dude.
And he's healed now. He's riding again.
course he is.
And this is why I say the apprentice has to know where the hospitals are.
The apprentice has to know
You
what
just,
the hospitals are.
I guess they're near the airport where he lives because that's where he goes.
Oh, dude. Dude, I couldn't live in the same town as Ron. It would be too stressful.
You moved on the other side of the Mississippi.
Hey, Kevin, how close are they now to the 24 and tour thing? The 24 and tour, whatever it's
How
called.
close? In what sense?
Right. Yes. Yes.
Let's start
Very-
small.
yeah, yes,
Like,
Is it
where
gonna
are
go
they
down
since
at the
last
Buckeye Bike
time we
Show?
talked about it. How close?
we are having a meeting next Saturday, and I will find out. But as far as I know, we have 2 shows more or less locked in at this point, and then
where are they?
Cologne,
The Kmart parking lot.
yeah,
Cologne,
Kmart
okay,
parking lot
sure.
in Paramus, New Jersey.
So there's
No,
one
Cologne-
in Germany.
Cologne and New York.
Now,
What?
is Spike's $1,000 going to get you guys all there first class?
Oh,
That's the big
absolutely,
thing.
absolutely. Of course, we might have to pull some shenanigans. We'll go into the old Ron days of, making his own plane tickets. Let me give you another 80s Ron story.
I'm sorry.
Ron says to me one day when I first started working for him, he goes, "Hey, do you want to go to France and judge this vert contest?" And I'm like, "Sure, sounds great. I've only been to Canada at this point." So I'm like, "Yeah, sounds awesome." Doesn't mention it again. And then on a Friday, he goes, "Hey, are you going to be ready to go to France on Tuesday?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't have a passport and all this shit. And I had to immediately get on a plane, fly back, and get Joe Johnson's car. And Joe Johnson and I drove from Logan Airport to Leucadia in 48 hours. And then I had to go to LA and get my passport and get my visa for France because you needed a visa back then. And the next day when we got on the plane with everyone, Tony Hawk, Matt Hoffman, you name it, there's like 20 of us. And when we got on the plane, I didn't have a plane ticket. They handed out plane tickets and I didn't have one. And Ron goes, "Just get on." And I literally followed this group of people on the plane and had never had a seat or a plane ticket on the plane.
I followed everybody on.
And I flew to France. Had a great time.
The castaway.
I didn't know if I was going to get home. I didn't know.
Yeah, where you gonna get back?
Fuck it. I'll fall in love, find a French woman. I don't fucking know.
Oh my God.
Open that ready,
So funny.
open 2-hip Europe or something. I don't fucking know. But yeah, that was life with Ron.
My God.
That's
So wait,
funny.
so there's one in Germany. Where's the second show?
New York.
Oh, perfect.
And they want to have
Joe,
a
We're
few
going
more,
to the
but I
New
don't-
York one. Come
We're
on,
going to
man.
the New York one.
Yeah,
We're
we
going to the
are.
New York one.
We need exact dates.
we should be locking that down this week.
Do you know where in New York it could be? New York's a large area.
And I
New
know
York
you're
City?
gonna say the Brooklyn Bridge, but no, it's under a bridge in Brooklyn and not the Brooklyn Bridge. There's a skate park under a bridge in Brooklyn. I went to it. That's the place Ron broke his pelvis.
Oh, okay. All
Ron's
right. Cool.
Ron's
All right. We're there, Joe. Joe, we're there.
Ron broke his pelvis, and they're going back to do the 24 and more show.
Right.
He's got
That'd be
yeah,
fun.
yeah, exactly. Oh, Ron. So yes, that's where we're at as far as I know. I don't get into the nuts and bolts of it. Just let me know what I can do to help. That's my role.
Man. Which one would be first, the Germany one or the New York one?
I believe the
I'd
New York
hope the
one.
New York, yeah, because this way, when Ron breaks his pelvis again,
There's
this way
space.
he can.
They're spaced a month and a half apart. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that these 60-year-olds can do the next show. Yeah.
Which I said from the start was a bad idea. I said, shouldn't this be like an appearance tour? Like, I said I've been in BMX and around BMX freestyle pretty much from the start. I've never once seen Bob Harrow ride, but he's still at every event.
Yeah.
I've never seen a guy do a trick on a bicycle, and he did it right. You know what I mean? He stopped trying to ride, and he just said, you know what? I'm just going to go and sell T-shirts.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
He does
But
sell a lot of T-shirts.
He does. He kills it. Well, his art is really good. You know what I mean? Plus he's Bob. But that's I was like, this should be like a spoken word, sort of like a slideshow about the old time, the music. We could have the guys talking. This was my suggestion for the beginning.
So everyone's got to learn all their tricks again, right?
I guess, yeah.
At 7 to 12 feet, they'll be fine.
Yeah. They're really hyping up the air over 540, so they got to get that right.
No, they're
On
not even going
concrete.
to try that. Are they really?
As far as I know.
No.
I think that's the dream. I think that's the dream. I think that's the dream.
Because that's pretty insane, right?
I think so.
It was pretty insane back when they were in their 20s.
Right?
Doing it in their 60s is going to be quite a feat.
Do you remember that story of when Brian Joe Johnson left high school to go on tour with Harrow and Brian Blyther? Do you hear the story?
No.
I heard a version of it. I don't know the Blyther part, though.
Brian told Joe they were going to do air over 540, and long story short, Joe missed the ramp and broke his arm and was back in high school the next day.
Oh.
He said, I just spent a week like telling everybody, yeah, that's it. Good luck with the rest of school, suckers. And he comes back in a cast. Hey.
Well, the only thing I could think of, if that's the case, like where if Blyther was explaining to him, I'm going to do the air, you're going to do the 540, Joe definitely probably went up and tried to do the air because you could explain something to Joe 9 times.
Yeah.
Joe's the dumbest smart guy I've ever met. Like,
Totally.
you won't find anyone dumber than Joe, and he's like this like brilliant engineer, but he can't put bread in a toaster and the toast comes out and he's like, how'd that happen? How does that happen?
No.
I'm going to have to take this apart and find how do you put bread in here and then it comes out toasted. That's crazy.
Dude, last month I went to California and I met Brian in Laughlin, Nevada, and we drove the Mojave Road. It's a dirt road. It goes from Laughlin all the way to Barstow, 120 miles. And we spent two nights camping and just driving on this off-road. It was sick.
Damn.
Yeah, I was sick from work. That's why I didn't post anything.
Of course you were.
Yeah, well, I'm winding down now. I got to get the sick time. Get rid of the sick time.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We had a great time. Huh?
What are you doing in that? What are you doing in that Unabomber basement right now? You're freaking me out, dude. What are you doing? That's where he hides the kids. What's that door? What's that?
I make signs. No. This is a chalkboard. I'm painting lines on a chalkboard.
Okay. You're making signs for what?
I make old signs.
What?
Haven't you seen the old signs I make?
Apparently
no.
not.
Can you
no.
show us?
All right, hold on. I'm gonna group text it right now. Anyway, I take antique wood and I make old signs. I've made some for the firehouse. I've made like all kinds of signs. Let's see. Oh boy, how do I do this? I'll figure it out. Keep talking.
He's gonna make one that says 1984 Horror Tour.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna get an old piece of poster board.
This is the process.
This is what I'm working on. That's the thing I just sent you is what I'm working on right now. But I'll send you. I made these. Let's see. Copy.
Joe will put it up so we can see it because he's the interweb.
Hey, how often do you wear that sun hat? And
the what hat?
The sun hat.
Oh, the sun hat that's over here.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Where is it?
Yeah.
It's right by the gas shutoff. Ray, you got to look at this picture. It's so good.
I've seen all the pictures. There you go. Look at that.
That's fantastic.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
when you're a ginger, there's no hat big enough.
Yeah, that's a
I
life
got
that's
it.
a life-saving hat right there.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, these are great.
Aren't they cool?
They're so cool.
Yeah, I made a bunch for my house in Vermont, which I actually just had to sell. But don't cry for me. I became wealthy from it. So
Good for
Yeah.
you.
I bought it for $260 in right as COVID started, and I just sold it 3 weeks ago for
$1 million.
$700
I'm
in
sorry.
cash.
What?
Jeez.
That's money. Drinks are on. Don't tell. Oh, you shouldn't have said that. Now you're gonna have to pay
Was
for
it
the
all because
tour.
of the signs? Like, what other work did you do to it?
No, I cut it was a log cabin. I cut the back of the house off, put an addition on it, built a wraparound porch. But it was just my sister-in-law and I bought it together, and she wanted out, and the only way to get her out was to sell it. And I just
Oh.
I souped it up and put it on the market, and it put me probably 5 years ahead of my goals. So now I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna retire soon, I think.
That's
Gonna
awesome.
paint signs and go on tour with Haro, man.
That's it,
Can't
man.
get better than that, dude.
Don't tell them I sold the house though, because they want me to fund this damn thing.
I know. Luckily, nobody watches this show, so you'll be fine.
This is the safest place to say
Yep.
things on the internet.
Yeah, you
only
can get
only
all
the
the
FBI is listening.
Government secrets. We could get government
All the-
secrets.
Yeah, you could pass secrets through this show and know it would be safe because no one's gonna watch this.
We're just gonna
Hey.
say the catchwords so that we get views, but they're all
Oh.
FBI agents.
Yeah. Listen, everything's got to start somewhere.
If we make those folks laugh, then we can make anyone laugh. Because
Exactly.
they're having a tough time right now.
Oh,
Yes. Yes, they are.
So Kevin, we had this contest. Maybe you can help talk about it and raise some awareness. It's called Ramp Up the Yawn, and
oh my!
the contest is you just pay attention to whatever podcast and you grab the funniest screenshot of the dude yawning.
Oh yes, I have seen this, but I like that. That is a good game.
I probably have the most entries in this. You know what I mean? Or the ones you could pick from.
Oh,
the
yeah.
most. I've
Well, I
yawned
mean,
like 4 times already.
I mean, if a camera's on you at all times, you're gonna pick your nose. You got anybody picking their
Yeah.
nose yet on camera?
Yeah,
No,
probably.
actually, if you Google or go to YouTube and type Milton Friedman inflation,
Yeah.
he was like a professor from the college in Chicago, and he talked a lot on like Merv Griffin in the 80s about inflation. He is a nose picker.
Oh no
And
shit.
he could be standing at a lectern with a
And forget
massive
where he is.
crowd,
And pick his nose.
he goes right in. He
No
goes
way.
right in. And I've got screenshot. Like when I noticed it, because you can see it on YouTube.
You can't
started posting-
unsee it.
You can't unsee it. So
Yeah.
I guess back in the 80s or in his day, it was like it's like if you burp at a table. When I was a kid, somebody told me that in China you burp at the table and it's a compliment.
Oh, I like that. What,
But I grew up in
that
Brunswick,
being
Ohio.
said, what does a fart mean then? That's got to be
Yeah.
ultimate. That's got to be ultimate compliment.
There's nothing higher than that.
Oh,
Hey Ray, I watched Made today. All
the whole
way through.
thing, the actual whole thing.
Where did you
Yeah.
find it?
I've watched it more than you. I'll tell you that. How
It's-
how did you? Did I send it to you? Like, did you?
You
watch
sent
the
it
whole-
to me a long time ago, and it's 44 minutes, and it's like a file, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I couldn't find. Somehow I found it very easily today. So
Wow.
Stony, it's
Send it to Stony.
It's on Rabo TV right now. It's episode 3. It should be up there right now.
Wait, is it on? Is that YouTube?
I put it up on our YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Secret.
'Cause-
We're totally
I-
going to
'cause-
get in trouble.
You're totally
no,
gonna
Warren-
lose your
'cause
YouTube.
Warren was trying to do it, and it just kept getting taken down because all the music that's on it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Like, there's
it
a
says it's
ton of
partially blocked.
it gets taken down real quick.
They're on it, those sons of bitches.
Yeah.
So how
Is
are we
it-
gonna? I gotta.
You can just can't you just mute the music out and then it won't?
There's a lot of music in it.
Ugh.
Well, if Warren keeps doing it and they keep getting it taken down, then
Well, no, he doesn't keep doing it. I just know 20 years ago when it came out, Warren tried putting it on YouTube, and because so many people will ask for it, and it would be great to have it on YouTube, but you can't because of the music. So did you just look and it's gone already?
But haven't they changed that to the sense that where you can put shit on there as long as you give credit for the music or something like that?
It keeps changing because
Like,
it
It's
changes.
funny because like if you want to listen to an album, like say I wanted to listen to Pearl Jam 10, you go right on YouTube and it's all on there. So
Right.
like, why not? I mean, this just has little bits of songs on it. You know?
Right.
Sometimes it's ads. Like everybody has their own terms, and one of the terms is you can use the music, but I get the ad money. Like they won't let you monetize it.
Joe, what was
anyway.
what was your favorite part of the show?
Oh my God. The one that like I watched so many times was when you're like, what's up with this guy in the neck brace? And she's like, well, first of all, it's a scarf. I just lost it.
They beeped out the word gay. You couldn't say gay on TV. When we're walking up, we're like walking up the steps and she's like, take off your shoes. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so gay. And like that, you know, like when I was a kid, we would say things were gay all the time, but now that's as bad as any bad word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I liked when you were about to quit. You're like, look, you're either going to do this or I'm going to quit. And she came back and she was getting like 2 feet under vert.
Yeah. Well, that's all made up, by the way. That whole, like, you have every episode of Made, the coach has to quit and then the pupil has to do something good. So that's all fake.
It's like the hot rod shows and they have the fake firing. You're fired! And they come back.
We gotta finish getting this frame straight before the client comes. Like all those
before the SEMA show.
Yeah, the SEMA show. The paint's not going to be dry. But
so Stoney, what manufactured drama should we put into this show to get more audience engagement?
Something it has to be controversial.
Here's what you should have done. What you should have done is the reason Dave's not on the show anymore. He got stabbed.
Who did it?
And then everybody was like, "What?" And well, we'll talk about it next show. And then boom, you'd have so many views because people would want to find out why Dave got stabbed.
Because he did go in for appendix surgery.
Oh yeah.
That's day surgery now. What are you talking about?
Day surgery. Yeah. Joe, a few years ago, and you'll love this is right up Joe's alley. So about 10 years ago, King of Prussia got a casino. So it's called like the Valley Forge Casino. And I was in a Starbucks with some derelict friends of mine. And when we went in there, they were like, everyone was talking about, and that goddamn casino, who knows, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, watch this. And I definitely stole this from somebody, I forget who. But I pick up my phone and I go, what? What happened? 2 people got stabbed at the casino last night? This is like in line at Starbucks, and like everybody is all like looking, they're getting on their phone trying to figure out like, oh my God, somebody got stabbed. And I just left. And I'm like, I wonder how many people now in King of Prussia are going to be like, hey, I heard somebody got stabbed at the casino. It's so good.
All right, Joe, remember what we were talking about earlier about how I'm just kind of stuck and there's no ideas coming to mind?
Yeah.
You said manufactured content. And if you watch back to when you asked me about it, you can literally see an empty thought bubble above my head. Me just sitting there working on it, and there's just nothing up there. And that's what I'm talking about. This is the perfect example. I'm broken.
I I think you should do an episode where there's a backwards message in the whole episode if you play it backwards.
Yeah.
Oh,
How could we do that? That's
I
really
don't
good.
know. I think it'd be great.
you mean like a Led Zeppelin album?
Exactly like a Led Zeppelin album.
Joe, you'll have
Hey.
to call this episode "Stairway to Heaven," or it could be
This-
Stairway to Brooklyn, the first 24 and 4 tour.
just making fun of Vinny, how he said, yeah, with a 24 and more tour. We're like, I'm sorry, the what?
Where is Vinny? Is
He
Vinny
just
still
clammed up.
Is Vinny still on the payroll? We need more Vinny. They need Vinny.
Vinny was supposed
desperately.
to. I was supposed to meet up with Vinny this week. He was going to be in New York or something like that. I don't know.
What are you guys gonna do?
I don't know. I didn't hear from him.
They're gonna go to a skate park and fix everyone's gyro cable.
Can we get him on? Can we cold call him?
The cold.
I'm giving Dave and Vinny some distance because
Why?
Is that because of the restraining order, or
so here's why. This must have happened like 3 weeks ago. Dave calls and I'm having dinner and I'm like, no. And I just text back and I'm like saying, hey, look, I need some time. So we go to sleep and then I sneak out of bed and I walk downstairs and I call Dave back. And
Why
I'm
would you
like,
have to sneak?
Thank you.
around
Why
in
are you
your own
sneaking out of
house?
bed?
Why can't you just-
to not wake up Angie. Like I had to. I knew that it was going to be
He had to put her to
ridiculous.
bed. He had to put her to bed. He had to get her the warm milk. He had to make sure her feet were 8 degrees hotter than the rest of her body so she could fall asleep. He had to have the right incense and the proper whatever. Like he probably
It was
the
precise.
right silk pajamas. Like, can you imagine
So
the
I go
process of them going
downstairs.
to bed?
So I go downstairs, and Dave starts, he was digging some hole in his backyard or whatever. And then I was like, oh, because I sent him the latest zine. And he's like, hey, I'm not going to do the Naked Gumby. And I'm like, but it's actually such a good idea. And I'm explaining the idea, and he gets so mad, he just starts yelling. Like, I've never heard Dave go off like that.
you got Dave Norrie to yell at you?
Yeah, it was.
I don't know about that.
I could not stop laughing at how funny it was. Dave was against the wall.
This is like laughing when your mom hits you with a belt, dude. It doesn't work
No.
out in the end, Joe.
And then my phone died,
Oh,
Oh boy.
and that was it.
and you
My
haven't heard
phone
from
died.
Dave since.
No,
You haven't
he
heard
has
from
called.
Dave since,
He
and he's got a big
has
hole in his
he has
backyard.
called twice. He has called twice. I have not picked up the phone.
Why
Oh,
are you
boy.
ghosting Dave?
I was ghosting Dave. I'm not ghosting Dave. I'm just not picking up his call
That's
because
called
that was
You're
so
giving us
funny.
space.
Oh, is that what ghosting means?
Yes.
Yeah.
You just
Oh,
kind of do your own thing.
You
I got it
disappeared.
completely wrong.
Like a
I
ghost.
disappeared. I should check
Joe
with you
doesn't
guys
know what a
before
ghost
using
is,
any
everybody.
terms.
Joe, you use all those 10-cent words and you don't know what it means to ghost somebody?
I never said that I was smart.
Man.
Check the footage. I think he had once or twice.
I just said that I'm rehearsed.
Damn.
There's a big difference.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I am ghosting Dave because that was the funniest thing ever. I was pitching I had put so much work into this shenanigans of the Naked Gumby at the opening of the Great Circus in Space. And I was insulted that he did not find it as funny as I did. And I was like, I'm out.
That's awesome. You pissed off the most mellow guy on the planet.
No, Blyther's the most mellow guy.
Oh yeah, Blyther is. Blyther definitely is.
Yeah, could you like? I haven't spent a lot of time with Blyther, but I've never seen him angry, and I've been able to get him to laugh a couple times, which is awesome. But I've never seen him like mad or even like raise his voice or show any type of like emotion other than just like, "What's up, man?" Like, you know, he's just always calm.
Dude, I went to dinner with his parents like a few days before his mom got killed.
Wow.
It was fucking.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was a bummer. And I spent I spent a couple days with Brian talking about the health of his parents, and just heartbreaking.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's terrible.
You're getting old. Getting old's rough. You know what they say about getting old?
What?
It's the best line I've ever heard. Growing old ain't for pussies.
No, that's for sure.
It's true.
If growing old was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah. Getting old's rough, man.
Some people tap out. Why do you think Kurt Cobain and Janis Joplin tapped out? They didn't have what it takes.
They have no time for that shit.
They did not have time for that.
27's long enough, you know?
That's a good run. Hey, dude. If I tapped out at 27, I would have tapped out at the top of my game.
Oh, no. No. You still got some stuff left, Kevin. Come on, man.
No, you're right. I've done all right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh. Joe, you got to get a hold of that Jerry Severson dude. You would pee your pants listening to his story about going to Wilkerson's. Get on the interweb and find him.
I sent him a friend request.
Oh no shit! Where's he now? Back out Midwest.
I think he's from Minnesota. Where's Tom Haugen from? You know Tom Haugen? I think they're from the same area. I think Haugen's from Minnesota. Somewhere up where that away. Somewhere high up on the map where it's cold.
Somewhere colder than here.
Yeah. But he said he would go to some old school stuff back in the day. But he would be, when he told me the story, like, I forget where we were somewhere because I don't know where we were, but I physically saw him somewhere and he was telling me the story.
Huh.
I was dying.
Oh yeah, if you could track down a handful of 2Hip employees, it would be pretty interesting content.
That'd be some good stuff.
Yeah,
like
Dowker told us the story. John Dowker.
What did he say?
What he said was he had gotten a call. He heard that Ron needed a tour manager, and he was doing shows, and Ron called him up and said, "Oh, hey, this is Ron W. and want to do some shows for 2Hip." And Dowker was like, "Yes." And he goes, "Okay, be here Tuesday." And Dowker was like, that's in 2 days. And so he packed his stuff up. He packed his bike up. The way I'm told is he put it into a bike box, and then he had his whatever luggage. Well, Ron was working on a van when John's plane arrived, and the van was inoperable, but the motorcycle was operable.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
John gets out of the
classic.
airport, and he's looking around, and then he sees Ron on the motorcycle, and Ron goes, and he tells the story of being on the motorcycle with his bike in a box.
Yeah, this is Wilkerson 101 right here.
And Ron's going fast home.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Ray. Look at Ray.
This doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
I drove, me and Ron drove our motorcycles once from San Diego to San Francisco in like 3.5 hours. Like I was
What?
behind him. He had no tail light, and so we were on the grapevine in the middle of the night, driving about 100. I think our average speed was about 145.
Jesus.
Yeah, we were
Oh.
hammering, and there was parts of the drive where I was staring straight down at his wheel, and I was putting my front tire about an inch from his back tire, and I was just watching his feet to see if his feet moved. Then I would know I'd had to get ready to slow down or start to turn. It was insane.
I would never be in that situation. I would never need to go from San Diego to San Francisco. That's
175 miles an hour. And on that same trip, we were driving through the city of San Francisco, and he was, of course, driving like an asshole, whipping around in front of me. He hit the back of a Cadillac that stopped at about 40, and he got ejected. And I have an image of him in my head. He was about 10 or 12 feet above the Cadillac. Motorcycle was on top of the car, and his sneakers were like 20 feet beyond him. And he tucked and rolled, landed in the street uninjured, and he hit his balls on the tank. And I went down to the Honda dealer a few blocks away and got a new handlebar, and we put new handlebars on, and we continued our ride.
But his nuts were okay.
Yeah, no license plate, no tail lights. He had his shoes halfway on, so the minute he got in his and it was an old Asian couple, and they were so terrified that they just left. He goes, "No, we're all set," and they left. I go,
We're all set.
He borrowed my motorcycle to go to San Francisco once, and he didn't show up. And when I got home, I was like, because there's no cell phones, I was like, where the fuck, what happened to him? And literally the next day, I can hear my motorcycle coming, and as it gets closer to my house, half of the motorcycle is totally destroyed. Brand new bike. He fucking was driving to San Francisco with his luggage on the gas tank, and it fell off, and he tried to grab it and laid my motorcycle down on the highway.
Oh.
And I think he spent a night in the hospital or some shit. I was like,
Yeah, of course. That's just part of the trip.
yeah, this is that's why you can't live in the town with him, dude. You can't.
No. Oh,
Saturday Night
man.
Live skit with these sales guys talking about Bill Braxton. And they ain't got shit on these Wilkerson stories.
Oh, no, not at all. But the crazy thing is,
said, "I'm not hungry."
He continues to operate this way. It's fucking insane.
God.
I mean, I had fake car insurance back in the day, like everybody. But you know, I grew up. Now I pay for it.
Fake car insurance.
Oh yeah,
Fake
anytime I got caught without car insurance, I would go to Ron's house and we would use whiteout and fucking glue and make a fake insurance certificate, and I'd bring it back and give it to the judge. Dude, it was insane. I can't even. You have no idea. I could talk about shit like this for the next week.
I was gonna say, yeah, the Wilkerson stories.
Yeah, give me a couple of Red Bulls.
So Ray, what I'm thinking is we'll find the apprentice, okay? Or we'll interview the apprentice. There's probably going to be some that you could be the manager for these guys. Remember last week you said you wanted to find...
The person that should interview them should be Kevin, because Kevin knows who or who could not be with Wilkerson.
I will come up with criteria.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Check boxes that you would have to have. No, you worry about your shit. You're responsible. You won't work out. Sorry.
I thought that it would take someone who is hyper responsible to be able to figure their way out of those situations.
No, because he will make you compromise your own morals by saying, "No, it's cool. It's all cool, dude. Don't worry about it. Customs, schmustoms. Like, we'll just go around this way. They won't know. Like, that's what he does."
This is actually
you
why
don't
Dave
need
was
a
yelling.
plane ticket. Do I need to say more?
Yeah, okay. You don't need a plane ticket. All right, now I get it. This is why Dave was yelling at me. He's like, stop telling Ron about the Naked Gumby, because if I do the naked Gumby, he's gonna have me do something else, and it's the next thing that terrifies me. And so Dave was putting a line down, and I was like sending Ron naked Gumby zines, and Dave is thinking that I'm gonna sell Ron on forcing Dave to do a naked Gumby.
That's
And then
awesome.
Dave goes down the rabbit hole. Now you can imagine how funny that was at 2 a.m. with Dave yelling at me. My eyes were watering. I was laughing so hard. He was terrified.
That's awesome.
This is good stuff, Ray. What did you do today?
What did I do today?
Uh-huh.
I was so busy. I was very busy today.
What?
Yes, that's what.
And
I was just very busy. I mean, look at that backyard. There's not a leaf out there, is there?
yeah, there's like a bunch of them right behind you.
No.
Yes.
No. They're just the ones.
Yes or no,
today.
Joe? Do you think?
I'm looking at leaves. I'm looking at leaves.
Chris and point out the leaves in the edit.
No. There was like a foot. There was like a foot of leaves. I got rid of all the leaves. And what else did I do?
The gutters.
That might have
You
been
did the
it.
gutters.
No,
Did
I
you
won't
do
get
the
up
gutters?
there. I'll have to wait for Warren to come over. Warren comes over when it rains, and he's like, "Man, look at the water just going over those gutters, and he can't take it." You know what I mean? He's like, "We got to get up there." I'm not climbing a ladder. You know, why would I get on a ladder? I'm a land mammal. Remember, Joe? I don't get up on ladders.
I do remember that.
No ladders.
It's good.
I have
It's
a
sound.
tough time.
That is sound policy.
Yeah, I don't like ladders much.
But to have a guy, to have a friend who just can look at your gutters and can get irked and to go fix them. I think that's such an awesome person to have in your crew.
Oh,
that you just described Warren's whole life.
If right now Warren was like, "Hey, I just got a job in Seattle," I'd be like, I'd go to my wife and son, like, "Yeah, we got to move to Seattle." Why? Because that's where Warren's moving. Why do we got to go? I'm like, how am I going to survive if Warren's not here?
How is Marvell? What's he up to?
He's living large. He's right now he's in Richmond, Virginia with his family. They're there for Thanksgiving. He'll probably be back. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow in time for the Eagles, but I don't know. Eagles are on a mad tear. I'm sure Joe knows all about it.
Oh, it's a mad tear.
Yeah. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl again.
How did this happen?
How did
both the Phillies and the Eagles in the
that always happens in sports towns where like the one team's doing really good, the other team does really good, and then when one team's really bad, the other team's really bad. You know, it happens.
Not bad.
The Eagles might have about 2 more years where they're really good, then they'll be really bad. They'll run out of money, and then whatever.
How do you make a sports how do you do that? Is this
money? Whoever has the most money wins.
Right.
Look at the Yankees.
Is it like pro wrestling? Oh, Kevin, did you know that Stoney was a pro wrestler?
I did not know that.
What happened?
Like what happened? Like WWE or like we talking collegiate? What are we talking about here?
The WWE stuff. I never worked for WWE. Yeah, I promise.
No way.
Yeah,
it's not as exciting as it sounds. It's
very exciting. It's very, very exciting.
Ray absolutely loves it.
I love it. Well, you know what it is because I love the movie The Wrestler. That's like one of my favorite movies, and I just picture Stoney being the guy from The Wrestler.
So about 20 years ago, I was doing stagehand work here in Bridgeport, and I was doing a loadout for the WWE, and there was like 100 stagehands gathered. And there was 2 stagehands that were like 18-year-old kids, and they were punks, like purple hair skateboarder kids, and they were being fucking smartasses. Well, one of the WWE security guys fucking said something to them, like, hey, and just got really nasty. And I stood up to him, and I basically challenged all the fucking WWE security guys to a fight. I go, stop picking on these fucking dudes. They're young. They didn't do anything wrong. This chick on the crew was like, I don't even want to be near you. You're fucking going to get killed. All this shit. They backed down. The next day I got a phone call from some old guy who runs the New York City fucking stagehand union. It was his nephews that I defended.
Wow.
And he's like, dude, you want to come down to the city? I'll get you a card. You looked out for these kids. I appreciate it. I was like,
Nice.
trying to fight WWE security. I'm 0-10 on fights, by the way. I just I am proud of my losing record. I still talk shit and I still get beat up. It's amazing. My brother got jumped the other night, and I told him, in this family, you got to get your ass kicked every 10 years. That's just the way it goes.
Oh my God.
New Haven, dude. He took his kid to music school and got knocked out.
What?
In music school.
He dropped his daughter off at music school, and he went to go get some Asian food, and this homeless guy asked him for money, and he said he didn't have it, and he woke up on the sidewalk. He got knocked out. The guy punched him in the face, and he went down. He cut his whole head open and shit. I had to get some stitches.
Good Lord.
That's average here. Gotta be tough.
Gotta be tough.
I told him, you've been living out in the country too long, dude. You fucking don't let anybody get in within arm's reach of you. Are you fucking crazy?
Oh yeah, country folks do.
So,
wave
Stoney,
to
what
get
did you do
close.
for the WWE specifically? Were you wrestling?
No, I didn't work
Yeah, he
for
was
WWE. I did that style of wrestling.
Oh. So like the Mexican circus type of shit, basically.
You got the WWE and AEW, and then you have like
Ah.
the smaller companies where everyone starts out at. That's where I was.
Oh,
Like
cool.
he was wrestling at like Barnes and Noble and like Upper Marion Middle School, stuff like that.
We did our share of grade schools, I'll tell you that. And,
See that? I know. Yeah.
oh,
there you
they
go.
were the best. You just walk out there and you just like the little kids got so into the theatrics that you didn't have to fight. You just make facial expressions and the place goes nuts, which is
That's
awesome because I don't like getting hit. So it worked. Everybody won.
Wait a second. You can get a cheer just by the facial expression. You don't have to do
Hulk
a
Hogan
bunch
used to
of
go like
tricks.
this, and the place would go nuts.
That's all. It's seriously, Ray just hit the nail on the head. Just look a direction, and they react. It's the greatest thing ever.
I've been working too hard at this bike stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even watch any wrestling, but I'll sit and watch. I'll watch Ric Flair or the who's the Steppenwolf Slim Jim guy? Who's the Slim Jim guy?
Randy
Macho
Savage.
Man,
Randy Savage. I could watch Randy Savage. I watched the one where he's like, it's like a cup of coffee. Going out and getting a cup of coffee. Like, it's the funniest shit in the world. And Ric Flair is hilarious. When Ric Flair, I'm the Rolex wearing, I'm the one that can dance the longest. Woo! Like,
The one that can dance the longest.
I can dance all night.
Do you remember Piper's Pit, Ray?
Piper's Pit? No.
Where Roddy Piper would have
Piper.
guests and he'd have like a little Tonight Show segment. Well, if you watch them, like we didn't know at the time, but now I know through networking, they were so coked up for every single one of those. And you can see it watching it now.
Oh, man.
But as a little kid, you're like, oh, it's these guys who don't like each other and they have charisma.
Yeah.
Now I know where their charisma came. Maybe that's where my charisma needs to come from, Joe.
That's where your charisma needs to come from. We need to get you into fights.
We need
to get you into fights.
We got to get you fighting on cocaine, and you'll be set.
That's a great.
And we also need we also need it to be 1991 for Stoney to be able to get out there and do some stuff.
About 2001, right around
2001. There you go. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Maybe Stoney's going back for more in 24. Maybe Stoney's going to become a wrestler. He's going to go back to his roots as he's going to go back on the wrestling tour.
Yeah.
And we're going to help him. We're going to give him give him support. We're going to pick his opponents.
And he needs a new name. He'd have to be Stoney. If you got hired right now to start wrestling again, they said, "Hey, we need a fresh name." what would your new name be?
Large Ray. Did you guys know that Isaac from Big Bike Freestyle, he's a trained wrestler too?
Oh, hold on.
No, is he really?
Yeah,
He told me that the other day. I had no idea. He was trained by Gene LaBelle, who trained Bruce Lee.
What?
I know.
What?
Dude, is there any tape of him wrestling? I gotta see that.
I don't
What
know.
was his name? It's gotta be on YouTube. Come on.
I don't think he
Get
told
on
me
it,
his
Joe.
name.
I want to see Isaac.
I'm asking him to
wrestling.
please join now.
I'll message him too. No, he said that because he used wrestling terminology while we were talking.
Yeah.
In my head, that brought everything to a screeching halt. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. How do you know how to use that?
Wait, when did this conversation happen? 2-3 weeks ago?
About a week and a half ago, yeah.
But it was after the thread got cut?
Yes, definitely. So,
Okay.
and he's telling me that, and I'm like, wait, why do you know how to use that word that way? And that's when it kind of unfolded and we got on the same page.
I love catching dudes that way. I love catching dudes when they use a word that they shouldn't be using in a way they shouldn't be using it.
What's it for example?
Like John.
John? Yeah.
You would know right then they were from fucking North
yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It's like when a Canadian says a boot. It's the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
They pinch them. Yeah.
That was like when I said John in front of Kurt Loder, and he went, "Are you from Philadelphia?" Because Kurt Loder went to school in Philly.
Did he do the finger thing again?
He goes, are you from Philly? Yes. He's like, I went, and he went to school there in like the 70s, and they were saying John. That's how old and legit the word John is.
I heard a story about how the Yankees got their name.
I know exactly how they got their name.
Kevin sent a screenshot with the leaves circled to the group chat.
What?
When you said that you did all the leaves, and he's like, "No, there's still leaves there." Tony's on Android, we can't add him, so I have to send it. I have to relay it over to him.
I get everything secondhand from Joe. But to your credit, you keep me pretty updated.
It probably never
I find
stops.
that implausible.
Kevin goes, and this is, when was it? Maybe it was last show. He was like, "Look, I've been on a lot of group texts, but this is just relentless. It's going at 2 a.m.
Dude, I wake up in the morning, and I wake up at like 6:30 every day, and there's already like 28 text messages. I'm like,
That's a light night right there. If it's all,
yeah, it is.
If you wake up and there's only 26 text messages, and out of that 26, one might make sense. You'd be like, "Oh, okay, that's what he means." And with Joe, he feels that everybody's reading them and like figuring it out.
I show people at work this text thread because it's just so relentless.
Well, my wife is addicted to the videos where he's like, "Hey Ray, I just wanted to say hi. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. I just got my sister-in-law massage, and I'm going out to buy some something. And then the floor's clean. Now I'm gonna go do my ice plunge, and then I'm gonna go take a nap, and then learn a little bit about the something. Okay, just have a great day. Bye." And my wife's like, "Is he joking or is he serious?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not sure."
I'm absolutely serious. So Stoney, I haven't sent. I need to start sending these to you too. One day, this was this is when I still lived at the schoolhouse. I was telling some story, and Ray goes, Joe, what do you do in a day? Like, what's a normal day for you? And he goes, what did you do yesterday? And I go, it's just normal stuff. And then I told him what I did the day before, and he goes, can you tell me every day what you do? and so they're always true. But like now I've become conscious of it, and I'm like, boy, to the untrained eye, that would really seem weird.
Yeah.
But to me, it makes perfect sense.
To the untrained eye.
And I think there's only one trained eye in the world that it makes sense to, because it doesn't seem to make sense to anyone.
I wish I could figure out a way to have you guys hack into the system that records everything that happens in my emergency vehicle. It's pretty funny.
Oh man.
Well, because I'm one of the bosses, and I'll walk by the biggest boss in the company, and he'll like go, "Hey, asshole, get off your phone and put your seatbelt on." But the best part is people who call this phone I carry for it's operations supervisor telephone, and literally I'll get a phone call. Hey, dispatch, somebody's gonna be calling your phone. I'll call the phone. What's going on? He goes, yeah, one of your vehicles today cut me off in traffic, and he was driving like a maniac, and he shouldn't have a job. And I go, okay, let me get my pen and paper. What did you see a number on that vehicle? And they go, yeah, 50. And I go, oh, habitual. I'm going to take care of this person.
And that's your number.
Oh, yeah, it was me. I've gotten so bad at setting off the cameras that I'm going to make a little sign that says, sorry, Tim, and that I can keep on the seat and just hold up every time I fucking set the thing off.
Kevin reprimands himself.
Yeah,
Do you have to give yourself citations?
Yeah, oh yeah, sure.
Hey, Joe, you'll like this one. So, of course, I drive all day for a living, and I have Q-tips in my car or in my van because while I'm in there for 8 hours, you might want a Q-tip out your ear.
That's smart thinking.
So I'm driving down the road. And I got a Q-tip in my hand, and I'm Q-tipping my ear, and I come to a light, and a lady pulls up next to me and goes, I'm like, and I look, and she's mouthing and yelling something, and I roll the window down, and she goes, get off your phone, asshole. And I go, and I hold the Q-tip up, and then she just rolls her window back up. So all I was doing was driving in a straight line, wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary, but she just was like, hey, wait, this guy's in a vehicle. It's got lettering on the side, so he's working, and he's talking on the phone. So I'm gonna call him an asshole. And then it was just the Q-tip.
Wait a second. Is that what people do? Like if your car has numbers on it, they just yell at you?
You get treated a little different. You get a lot of horns and a lot of I get about 2 calls a month where people call and go, your van was driving down the road speeding, or he cut me off, or he didn't let me into traffic. They get them all the time at work.
You're kidding me.
No.
These are anti-vanites.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
Clearly.
The most call is that he pulled out in front of me in traffic.
Yeah.
And
Did you really do that?
Yeah, usually. I mean, you sometimes just pull out in front of me.
You gotta make your move.
I gotta get shit to places on time, and if there's a funeral procession going down the road, sometimes I gotta interrupt it. They ain't going anywhere other than the whole. I got shit to do.
Yeah, what's their rush?
Yeah, what's their rush? You know what I mean?
What's their rush? Oh, Kevin, I can't wait for your criteria.
Joe, we only got 9 minutes left before Joe has to put his organic sushi order in. So Andy, and
I will.
Joe, remember, I don't want sesame seeds. I don't want black sesame seeds. I can only get the organic white sesame seeds from Peru. Don't get those other ones like last time. I got a rash.
I thrive on quests like this.
Yeah.
Hey, I was
Oh.
thinking maybe we could sell large race slow roast coffee cornhole merchandise.
If you say the word cornhole, call Warren up because he's a cornhole champion of King of Prussia.
Yeah, so I went to American Cornhole, which
Of course you did.
I thought was
Yeah, you did.
Well, I went to like professional cornhole and it said it was americancornhole.com and I was like,
Yeah. Oh wait, are you gonna sell the cornhole boards, the piece of wood you throw the
yeah, and I
beanbag
found
in?
out that they were boards too. I thought it was a cornhole, what did I call it? Cornhole box or something.
It's a
I
cornhole
learned it was a
bowl.
board. I learned that it was a cornhole board.
And it's on an angle and everything.
Yeah.
Get Warren on the phone. He'll learn
This
you.
is actual americancornhole.com. I'm not kidding.
If you start making cornhole boards, I'll buy one and send one to Warren. If it says large ray, slow roast coffee.
Well, I found one for like the top of the line is $650.
Get two of them.
Yeah, $695. Here,
Yeah,
let me bring this up.
You can get some really nice ones for in the $600-700 range.
Yeah.
What makes a nice cornhole board?
They're weatherproof for one, and they put a lot of money into the finish. There's this company that forges the basically the platform that the wood goes on into like it's like a formed aluminum form, so you can be outside all season. It's pretty nice.
Order them up, Joe.
Yeah, this world is one that I had no idea.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's serious. Oh, and then there's
Warren is the
shopping.
cornhole champion of King of Prussia.
Who is Warren?
Warren Marchese is the cornhole champion of King of Prussia.
Say it's not true. That is not true.
He was once ranked 1,000th in the world.
No way.
Yeah. He takes cornhole very serious.
Yeah,
He
hey.
is my cornhole champion.
It's
I had a
headquartered
base-
in Ohio.
Look at those.
Like Warren can just throw it into the hole every time, pretty much. And in cornhole, that's called an airmail. Yes. Warren is the cornhole champion. And his neighbor is too. Brian Devonshire.
Did they become cornhole champions together, or did they?
Yes. It was a total partnership. Yes.
I was going to say, or did they run into each other at a tournament going, oh my God, we live right next door?
No, they just went like 5 years ago. There was a local cornhole thing like in our area. I was there. And they went and won it. They won the cornhole thing and got like this little itty bitty trophy, and then it just like went from there.
Wow. I went to a tournament once and I got hustled. This couple let us win the first game, and I was like, "Oh, rad! We're actually better than I thought." And then they just smoked us, and we never got another shot. Like these motherfuckers. Yeah, they just hustled us.
Does Warren
Joe? You got 5
hustle,
minutes.
or does he win? I know
Warren wins big money.
Or
He
does
doesn't
he win
hustle,
the
but he
tournament?
wins big money. He goes to these, like, put it this way, he'll come home on a Wednesday night in the summertime, and then he'll just like look on his phone to see where there's like cornhole that night. And they're like, hey, there's one in Warminster. It's like 23 minutes away. He'll send a text to his friend. Hey, do you want to go to this one? Yeah. And then like from there, they just like PayPal the entry fee, and then they just drive there and start. And then like they might come home with like $700, or they might come home with nothing. But
wow,
it's a whole thing. It's way bigger than freestyle was for us when we were kids. Way bigger.
awesome.
I know people that do that with darts. Like they'll travel around and play darts, but I've never heard of people doing it with cornhole.
Oh, cornholes. Cornhole's on ESPN. You can watch cornhole on ESPN.
You
You
could.
can watch cornhole on ESPN.
Absolutely.
ESPN
I've seen
two.
it.
Right
Whatever.
after Made. Right after Made.
Yeah. Right after the maid show. They're almost the same. They're just dudes trying to put things in holes, you know.
You see how the conversation comes full circle?
Yep.
Full circle. All right. So I got the cornhole. Yeah, I put large Ray stickers on that cornhole board, Ray.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. I was posting it.
So what do you have to order in 2 minutes? What do you have to order for Angie?
Well,
What do you gotta get on the phone?
Angie's gonna be wrapping up. She's got some clients, and she had to work today.
So what's the phone call you have to take?
Oh, I have to like go and get her because I have the Jeep.
You guys only have one car now.
Yeah, we only have one car, and now
That's the
it's
most
such a
ridiculous
fun game.
thing
No,
ever.
it's such a fun
no,
game. It's such a fun
not.
game.
There's nothing you're ever gonna say that's gonna justify you having one fucking car, dude.
I know
don't
you
care.
have.
Just
You had
stop.
4 cars.
Don't even fucking start.
I have 2 cars and I live alone.
Thank you. There you go.
I have 1 car I keep in California. That's how I roll.
Yeah. You guys are gonna have a second car within a year because that hunk of shit Jeep's gonna break down and you're gonna need to go somewhere. You're gonna have to rent a car and you're gonna have to do this and you get an Uber and blah blah blah. You're gonna have to wind up getting another car, Joe.
My roommate decided a couple of years ago to not have a car, and it cost him $300 a month to Uber. That's it. My car is probably all told, taxes, gas, insurance, about $1,200.
That was my plan. I wanted to see if I could do that.
If he needs to go anywhere, he rents a car. He takes a train. He Ubers everywhere. He doesn't drive drunk. It's working for him.
I need a vehicle. I carry shit in my vehicle. I need my vehicle. I would never not have a car.
Yeah, I agree. Me too.
A car is very important.
It's an operating cost. You need to have a reliable car.
Yes.
Joe, before you take off, did you watch the Rodney Williams 2-hour edit?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I am aware that it. Kevin, it's one combo.
It is one long combo. Yeah.
It's one long
Get
combo.
the fuck out of here.
I saw that back when I was a kid. It's called John Huddleston, man. He was the king of it.
2.5 hours?
2 hours.
It's like 2 hours, and it's in a probably 12 by 12 garage.
Yeah.
With one camera, no music, just Rodney doing his. It's amazing and torture at the same time.
Does he get out of it because he finishes it, or he goes foot down or something?
The camera died.
It. The camera died.
So he could still be doing it now.
He rode for 2 hours and didn't touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's
he
awesome.
didn't change tricks. Like
wow.
he didn't go 2 wheels down.
That sounds like a young Ray Schleckweg back in the day.
Wow.
And he was doing like hay squeaks.
Did he do a cherry picker? Did he ride in and out of a cherry picker?
Hay squeaks. No.
Did he do it? Did he ride in and
scuffer.
out of a cherry picker?
No.
That's all that matters. Then it doesn't count. Then if he didn't do a cherry picker, the most basic freestyle trick, none of you motherfuckers can do it.
The dude.
None of you front wheel rolling fuckers can do a fucking cherry picker.
That's not true.
impressed.
You guys can do a cherry picker, right?
No, they can't. No, they can't.
It's been a minute.
You can't get one goddamn pro on those stupid ass low seat bikes that can do one goddamn in and out of a cherry picker. Not one fucking person.
Trevor can. Trevor.
I could probably do one in my driveway right now.
You think you can ride in and out of a cherry picker?
Yeah, but I don't have a bike.
So much is the setup.
I'm just saying all this like huff jam nonsense. There ain't one dude there that's a pro that can ride. Nori might be able to ride in and out of a cherry picker. Maybe, right?
Not only can Trevor Watering do it, he'll do a decade afterwards. Like that kid is so good.
And drop in from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor Watering is really good.
Then he's my hero. He is also
Scott Powell is his mentor as well. So Trevor Watching
4:31.
and I.
Joe's late. 4:31. Joe's late.
It's
Pick up
not.
his
I'm not
wife.
late. I just haven't gotten the call yet.
Oh, you haven't gotten the call yet.
I haven't got. I'm with a text.
Okay.
Whatever.
Maybe maybe somebody's talking to your wife about getting a car, and that's why she's. You really think I should get a car? Yeah, I think you should get a car. You think I should get a car? Yeah, I think you should get a car. Hey, Joe, I think maybe we should get another car. Oh, really? Ray was just talking about that. But you can say it's your idea, Joe, so
dude,
you look good.
Dude,
I'm
so
done looking good.
Yesterday, she's so tired. Okay, she gets back from work, and oh wait, here it is. I gotta go. I love you guys. Ray, you're in charge.
He had to hang up. He should have. Oh my God, he's terrified. Why is he?
He's out. Just like that. He's out.
He just drops that. She must beat the shit out of him. She probably beats him up. Nobody would be that scared that fast. We might have to send a counselor there to interview them to make sure that Joe's not being abused.
How do you think he answers that? How do you think he answers that question at the hospital? Do you feel safe at home?
Yeah, they ask you all the time.
Yeah,
you know, they asked me one time. The two things they asked me, they said, "Do I feel safe at home?" and do I have food insecurity? Like I wasn't getting enough to eat. we both started laughing. The lady asking me and me, and she's like, "Please don't tell anybody I was laughing." No. Do you have any food insecurities at home?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Poor Joe. We may never see him again. We should get a GoFundMe page just to buy a junker and drop it off at his house. Get Joe a car. Get him like a '84 Impala cop car and just drop it off for him. And you'll be like, Joe, get this car out of here right now. Oh, that's awesome.
All right, Kevin, I have questions.
Go,
yeah.
So I pretty much spoke to the Buckeye Bike Show people and got them in touch with Dave. And I'm like, because they were very interested in the tour. It was basically plug and play.
Now, where's this shop?
The Buckeye Bike Show, it's a show in Dayton, Ohio every year at the Nutter Center. It's a pretty big show, yeah.
It's really big.
Okay.
They expressed very strong interest in having the Back for More tour. And I just want it to happen. And you said Cologne, Germany, and New York. What happened to Dayton, Ohio?
No. All the other dates are still being discussed. There's like 3 or 4 more dates.
Okay.
But the ones that are starting to solidify are those.
Just those two.
So yeah, we have this bi-weekly meeting that we get into, and they just talk about, everybody talks about what's happening and who's doing what. So no, those shows aren't off the table. They're just not. Nothing is confirmed. And what is the date on that show in Ohio?
Oh, geez, Ray, that's like June, right? First week of June.
It was either the first week of June or the last week of May or something.
Yeah, it was right around there. Yeah.
What is Dave telling you about it?
What is
Dave telling you about it? Have you talked to Dave Nuri about it or no?
Not. It's been months. Like Dave just kind of fell off the map.
Yeah, when Joe and he had their falling out.
Kind of, yeah, kind of no.
Somebody's got to tell Joe to stop picking.
How about this one? I'll mention it in the meeting on Saturday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I am for that because I really want to see this show.
The thing with the Dayton, Ohio one, Kevin, at this Buckeye thing, there's already 1,000 people there to see the bikes. So
right.
And there's a huge area at the venue to do it.
Inside and out.
Inside and outside. They could do it either way.
It's like a conference center or something, right? Like
it's a college. It's a college.
Yeah.
So there's that place would be the perfect spot to do it.
It would.
There'd be so many people.
Huge.
Yeah,
right.
it's enormous.
All right. I'll bring it up this week.
Like
Goddamn right you will.
On one side of the building, they had the Buckeye Bike Show, and on the other side of the wall was where the stadium was, and they were preparing for a Kiss concert. Like this is a big place.
Cool. All right. Yeah. I'll bring it up. What are your other questions? I'm ready.
What are your other questions?
You said you have questions.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Okay,
How
yeah.
come all
Next
the-
question.
How come all the promotion just kind of stopped? Like there was a lot of momentum, and people were like, it was growing, and then just kind of like a firework that was about to shoot into the sky had all the stuff on the tail, and then just kind of didn't get liftoff.
That I don't know because, like I said, I'm on these calls every other week, which is a little excessive. But as far as I know, it's everything forward. But that is another point that I'll bring up. I'll say I've talked to some guys, and they want to know. So I didn't know. I didn't know that it had died down. Or you're talking about maybe you're talking about the fundraising part, or just generally.
Just the online presence. Like for a while, he was throwing out posts pretty regularly, like almost a couple times a day at one point, and then it just kind of stopped. And I'm from my entertainment background. If the people don't know the show is happening, they can't go to it.
Yeah, it's got a forward momentum all the time. Yeah, I agree with you.
So you being part of the inner workings, I was wondering. That's why I asked you. I'm like, okay, maybe he knows.
I don't know if that was conscious or, I don't know if that was intentional, but I can't imagine if it was intentional. Why? Every time we have these meetings, Vinny is supposedly the guy on the content part of it, and Dave too. Dave posts.
Right.
What are you laughing at, Ray?
I'm laughing at Vinny because Vinny cracks me up, man. Because Vinny, I can't figure Vinny out. I don't know what his deal is.
Vinny is a lot. He's a lot. He's a in your face kind of, East Coast guy. His enthusiasm is unmatched.
No, he's definitely got enthusiasm, but enthusiasm for what though? What's his thing? I can't. He was I've met him twice and talked to him, and he's there's nothing bad about him. I'm just curious on what his deal is. You know what I mean? He just he has some old bikes, and I don't know if but how's he a manager of what's his deal? What's he do?
I don't know. Isn't he in marketing? Isn't that his thing?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I thought it doesn't. I don't know. I got the impression he was the guy that was usually the guy that got funding for shit. I don't know. That's the way it sounds like when you talk. He sounds like a marketing guy. But I don't know. All right. Any other questions?
Nope.
No, I think
Wait,
Joe
Isaac's
said
here. Isaac.
Let's put it this way.
Oh, it's about to go down now.
It's all going down. We're going to be talking wrestling now.
Well,
Kevin,
Tony, I'll get a
wrestling.
situation report for that, and I'll get back to you in the next couple of weeks on the next
Awesome.
conference.
What's up,
All right.
Isaac?
Chilling, dude. I thought we were talking Star Wars, so I just so stoked.
Ray, do you want to lead? Do you want to catch him up, or you want me to do it?
You can do it. Good.
All right, Isaac. I was telling the crew about our conversation where you dropped that you were trained by Judo Jean LaBelle and you're a trained wrestler. And Ray and Joe and Kevin were immediately fascinated. So they sent you the link and they wanted to know more.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I'll tell you the story. Hold on. Let me find a picture.
Oh, yes.
It'll make it cooler. Hold on.
Yeah. Is there any way that we can see video of you wrestling? Is it on YouTube or anything?
There's nothing of me actually, so what I did was more pre-UFC. So I accidentally rode my bike, or I was riding my bike around Lodi, California, and I stopped at a garage that was open, in a industrial warehouse, and it was dark, and I'm like, I just need some water, so I roll over there, I'm like, see a bunch of dudes, and I'm like, man, let me just get some water. And they're like, yeah, no worries. So I sit down, and there's an octagon in the middle of this like
Oh,
garage.
so it's not wrestling like 80s wrestling. It's like UFC fighting.
It's you, yeah. My roommate won UFC number 3, and then like I ended up traveling to like Brazil and all these places with all
No way.
like all these people that are like famous, like Hall of Fame UFC people were just like, I'm like Ray, dude, because like I didn't do it like professionally, but all my friends are like Oleg Tektarov, the Russian Bear. He was my roommate, and I traveled all over the place with him. And then like Ken Shamrock and Frank Shamrock ran the gym. It was called
Oh, cool.
and so they ran the gym, and then I went to like Oleg Tektarov beat this guy Marco Huas. They were both undefeated in the UFC, and so they won. He won by a judge's decision because neither one of them would tap out. So Oleg comes home. He's like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna get like 45 grand if we go to Brazil and I fight with no referee, no rules, and it's 30 minutes. And if it goes to a draw, it's an automatic rematch in the contract." So he's like,
Wow.
I'm going to go to Brazil, get a draw, and then come back and fight him again for another 40 grand. So he's just thinking of like how many matches he could stack up, dude. So I'm like, well, what do I have to do? Right? Because I'm like, I don't want to fight anybody, dude. Like, what's my role in this? He goes, you're my towel guy. And I was like, well, what do I have to
Nice.
do? He's like,
No
never throw
way.
the fucking towel, dude, is what you do. You don't ever throw the towel.
Yeah,
And
don't
I was
throw that
like,
towel in.
so if you look up on YouTube, if you look up Oleg Tektarov versus Marco Huas,
You're in
uh,
the background with the towel,
I, I
clinched.
I have no towel. I brought no towel. You can watch me walk up, get on the side, like I'm his corner guy, but like so it's me, his manager, an interpreter, and the actual like medical person with like the ice thing that goes the frozen
Yeah,
goes under your eye. But like that was it, dude. Like I had no towel. I couldn't stop that fight if I wanted to.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
so it was
awesome.
fun, dude. It was a great time. But yeah, it wasn't I didn't do pro wrestling, but like I was aware of like New Japan Pro Wrestling, which does worked and catches they call it catch. And catch is real. That means there is no predetermined outcome. A work means that like maybe Stony and I are up against a match, and the organization comes to me and says, "You're gonna lose," and that's it. So all I know is I have to lose. It's not like it's a scripted storyline. It's just
Yeah.
hey, you're gonna fall at the end. Um, and so that's the way that those worked in Japan. But yeah, it wasn't like the UFC was never worked or anything like that. At least back in those days. It might be now. I don't know. But back in the old days, dude, like the funniest part, there was a dude that hung out like I did, right? And he was like, they called him like a young boy. And so he was like an apprentice UFC fighter at the Lions Den. And he was an alternate at one of the UFCs. Somebody got hurt, and all of a sudden he got paid 2 grand just to show up, whether he fought or not.
Mhm.
He shows up. Somebody got injured. He ends up in the super fight fighting Mark Coleman, this giant jacked wrestler who was like, he had won everything up to that point. And my friend Pete shows up and he's like, I got to fight that dude. And they're like, yep. And he's like, okay, bet, it's on. So he's on every UFC highlight film because he ended up, Mark Coleman was so jacked at the time, his cardio sucked. So at the end of the match, dude, he could barely keep his hands up. So my friend just kicked his shins like 3 times in a row. And then he just went bang, shin, bang, shin, bang, shin. And the fourth one, he just kicks him in the face, expecting him to block it. But Mark's hands go down to his shins. So he just gets a free kick like right here. And
Jeez.
the
Oh,
catches it, and you're like, oh God, he just kicked him so hard, dude. His grandma felt it. You just like, even though my friend knocked out this dude, you're still like, you don't want to see one of your champions just get kicked square in the. You don't want to see anyone get kicked square in the face.
Mhm.
But that's what happened, dude. Now he's like You know, he did that and then went on. Now I think he's a cop.
There you go.
Yeah.
I
in
was
fact,
I was thinking you and Stoney were gonna have a match opening up for the Haro 24 and more tour. I
We're
thought it
gonna
was
have
gonna
a
be
Texas death
wrestling
match.
first, and then the Haro tour.
If Stoney can teach me, if Stoney could teach me how to correctly get suplexed, like, bro, we can put on a show. I'm down for it. I'm down for
There you go.
and all of it.
If they got a ring, we could put a match together in 45 minutes. A
Oh my
convincing
God.
match in about 45 minutes, I would say.
There we go.
Dude,
I'll be
it's
Captain
on.
Lou Albano.
Who's the heel? Do I get to be the heel? Who gets to be the heel?
You have more personality, so yes.
Yeah,
can be
you
the
have to
heel.
be the heel. I think. I
Okay.
think you have to be the
I'll be the
guy
good
where
guy.
you just be like yelling at people.
Yeah.
I'll be
spitting
the
at the
face.
crowd.
I'll get out there and I'll be like, this should have been on big bikes. And I'll just make a big deal about like big bikes are still Flatland. You guys are
These
dicks.
20-inch bikes are for girls.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll look like
man.
tweakers on 20-inch bikes, and then like Stoney could come in and be like, and then maybe, dude, Stoney, like when you come in, like you play, you can literally play like break the ice, like that could be like your thing. I'm down, dude. There's so many angles to this. I love it. I think it would be fun. But yeah, I never got into the actual like pro like entertainment wrestling. It was just in the early days of the UFC when nobody made any money and like everyone was broke. It was funny, dude.
But you know how to take bumps still, right?
What do you think of early days? What year are you talking about for UFC?
This would have been like, so I met Frank because I recognized him after I walked in. So it was right after UFC 1. So I recognized Ken because he had lost to Hoist Gracie at that one.
Hoist Gracie, I remember that.
Yeah, Hoist Gracie he's a stud, dude. All those guys are really great though, but a lot of the stuff in UFC, like there was a rivalry between like my friends, the Lions Den, and the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys, in the media, but like in the real world, like everybody wrestled with everybody because back then it really was like a karate person against a judo person against a boxer. There wasn't anything until the wrestlers came in and were like, oh, I can control you on the ground and I can punch. So like those guys came in, the collegiate wrestlers came in, and it kind of got real boring because they would just take someone down and hold on to them. And then they started learning to punch on the ground. So then it was like ground and pound. They would just take you down and punch you.
Yeah.
And so that's when it shifted, and that's when that's when it turned into mixed martial arts because you were like a wrestler that could punch or do submission. But back in the early days, it was fun because it was like that dude Tank Abbott was like a big oh, he's just a bar fighter, street fighter guy. He had no teeth. But dude, he taught history. He was like a history teacher in like his day job. So like he's on TV talking about how he just was like drunk at a bar and he's ready to brawl in the bars, but like he had a classroom full of students, dude. Like
Yeah.
That had to be like mid 90s, right?
it would have been
94,
like
95.
95, 96.
Yeah, because I did some MC work with Tito Ortiz in '99, and
Yeah,
that was
dude, it would have been.
and Frank Shamrock, and they were already superstars at that point.
Yeah. So like Tito got real big because of the Huntington Beach stuff, and he had a really good look. He was young, he was jacked, and he was like he had his hair bleached. He just had a good look. He was a little bit puffy. He was a little bit puffy from whatever makes your face puffy.
Vitamins.
From vitamins. Yeah. But yeah, dude, he had a good look, and he understood like Tank Abbott helped him get in. He was a part of that group, so like Tank helped him kind of get into the character and understand like this is how you're gonna make a ton of money in this. Because it was all like super short-sighted stuff. Like no one really thought it was gonna last. So it was just like, let's milk this for as much money as you can because they weren't paying very well anyway.
Right. Hey,
You know?
Stoney, what did Isaac say? What was the phrase he used that made you that made the bell go off. Where you're like, wait a minute, he might know something about this wrestling
He
fighting
said
stuff.
he said it was a work. That sentence, and the world
Okay.
stopped when he said it. I
Oh,
was like,
yeah,
whoa,
but
whoa.
we weren't even talking about wrestling though, right? It was like we were talking about something else, and I just used the phrase like, "Oh yeah, that was worked."
Yeah.
I think it could have been more like back for more in 24. We were talking about like doing a routine or work, you know.
It might have
I think it
been.
was like that, but yeah, like that was just it's part like you know how you just say dude or bro way too much, and it's just like a habit. So if something is pre-planned, it's a work, and so I just like my mind jumps to work. If like, oh yeah, we're doing a Christmas party, it's a work. You know what I mean? Like it's you got something to do. So I
Like,
think that's what kicked it off.
I'll slip and use wrestling terminology every once in a while, and Joe doesn't know what it means, but he catches it.
Oh, that's fun.
How does that make sense?
I love that. But Joe knows everything about pop culture.
No, I said the word gimmick. And he put all the pieces together in his head and figured out, whoa, what's that mean? There's something to that.
That's crazy. When did everyone figure out that you were I didn't know you were a pro wrestler until you told me that, like, until I said work, and you're like, wait a minute. You said worked, and I was like, yeah, like a show. And you were like, yeah, how do you know that? And then you were like, you knew I was a wrestler. I was like, I'd seen like I didn't like I saw a bit on here, but I didn't know that was real. I didn't know, like, I think everything's at work now. Honestly, if I watch a podcast, I'm like, at work. You know what I mean? So, like, I didn't know.
Well, at some point, Joe and I were talking. I don't even know how it came up, and then Joe, being Joe, just ran with it. And
No, Joe run with something, one little thing.
Next thing I know, Ray is sending me videos of Classy Freddie Blassie, and Joe's putting out memes. And I'm like, oh God, this took a turn I wasn't ready for.
Who's the best wrestler, dude, from like my era? Like the Hulk Hogan, the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, like the Hacksaw Jim Duggan, like that era. Who was the best back then? Because like all I know is what I saw on TV, but I don't know who was that technically the best wrestler or.
Well, that's a loaded question, because there's who is in the ring talented, and then there's people who can draw money, and they aren't necessarily always connected. Like Hulk Hogan was a terrible wrestler. He did maybe 6 moves, but I saw
he had a gimmick.
Yeah, and people felt it and they related to it, and he made money with it.
Right.
So you could argue he's the best wrestler. Or there's someone like Jerry Lynn, who no one's ever heard of, who can go in and put on a 5-star match out of a 4-star rating and blow the roof off the building, but no one knows who he is. So, like, it could go either way.
Yeah, this is why I asked, dude, because like probably, gosh, Kevin, you might even know better than I do, but like at some point Ken Shamrock left MMA to go to WWE because of a contract was just huge. They threw so much money at him, and they were like, this will legitimize WWE. So he went and joined and traveled for a year with them, and he got hurt like twice. Like he like hurt his ankle doing something. So like you got to really be careful, because like I want to say like he had 8 days off for an entire year. Like he was on the road for wrestling. And I think he was like, dude, I haven't seen my family in like 3 months. So I think he quit WWE because he didn't have any time with his family, because he was on the road for like a whole year with no days off.
I was never really into wrestling, but this kid in high school, I went to high school in the 80s, and this kid I went to high school with was really into it. And I used to go with him because I was his friend. And that was back in the days of like Andre the Giant, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, like that sort of era. And then I
like the Moondogs. Remember the Moondogs? They used to carry bones on a rope, and they smelled. Moondog brothers.
Right, perfect. How do we never get into pro wrestling?
Oh man.
Actually, you're probably better off that you didn't. My lower back is just garbage right now.
Oh yeah, no, I'm hurting in every way. I was just sort of want to be the towel guy who looks like I'm going to throw it in, but I don't. You know, and I get fights with the other members of the fucking team. I could do that kind of shit.
Dude, Yeah. It's gnarly, dude. Like the stuff that you see on TV and then what happens afterwards is like you think like, oh man, it's all just glitz and glamour, and then like literally like you have this like euphoria where you're like, okay, we won the match, and you're like excited, and you go in the back in the green room, like in the back, and there's like on some productions they make it look like you have your own dressing room, but like in reality it's all just card A, like the A person on card 1 through 9 is in one room. The B
Sure.
person on 1 through 9 is in another room. So like
Mhm.
you're in the back, everyone's bleeding and busted up and tired. And then all the fighters are throwing up from like swallowing blood during the match. So they're all back there puking. And it's just like really, it's just a gross, like the things I was like, this is not this doesn't get put on TV. I don't really want to be here. I
Yeah,
want
I
to go
bet.
outside and hang out with everyone that's happy right now.
Because it's not marketable. I mean, it's
Yeah.
marketable now, but
I'm sure it is now, yeah,
back
but
at
yeah,
the time, the backstage, no one cared about that. They just cared about what you did in the ring.
it's just a bunch
Right.
of dudes throwing up anyway. You don't need to see that. It's kind of boring. But yeah, dude, it was terrifying. Like I was in Brazil, like the fight was in Brazil. I'm in Sao Paulo, and we're in a taxi. We're trying to find ice because my friend's face was just swollen like crazy. And dude, so his face is bloody. We're trying to find ice. I didn't know this, but the police department goes home at dark, like when like kids, like when the lights go on, like the police go home, and the MP, the military police come out, and that's who runs like that's who keeps
Oh
order
yeah.
in Sao Paulo at night. So we get
Oh
pulled
yeah.
over. There's 4 of us in a small little Fiat looking taxi. Me, the interpreter, my roommate, and the manager are all in the back. And so we get pulled over because obviously we're driving around Sao Paulo after dark with a dude that's face is swollen and bloody, just trying to
Yeah.
find like a Walgreens to buy a bag of ice because the hotel was they didn't have any ice.
Nothing suspicious about that.
Nothing
No.
at all. So we get pulled out, dude, and like some kid that's like 15 puts like a gun like on my sternum, and he's yelling at me in Portuguese, and I'm like, my hands are up, right? I'm like, first thing I think is I'm gonna get shot and put under a building here. I'm never going back to California ever again. My hands are up, and he's like yelling for passport. But there's four dudes yelling all the same words at 4 people and one interpreter. So I'm yelling at the interpreter like, get this dude, like, get me, bro. Like, we're all yelling the same thing. And I'm like, my passport's in my pocket. And he's like, get it. I'm like, I'm not moving, dude. Like, he get it, I'm like, he let him get it. So
That's awesome.
in the course of 30 seconds, I went from like, I'm gonna die. First, like, we're getting pulled over, like, okay, they're just gonna explain. Then they pull us out and there's guns involved. And so I'm terrified. Then they find out who we are, and like Lucha Libre, is it Lucha Libre?
Lucha Libre.
Yeah, so like that's we're like Lutador, and then they realize who he is when they see his face is
Yeah.
puffy and beat up. But then they're like, oh, it's that guy from it's a Russian guy. So then they go to taking selfies, dude. So my emotions are going like
Oh,
this,
fucking
dude.
awesome.
And they're trying to take a selfie with me, and I'm like crying, and like, I'm not famous, but I'm not willing to tell them that because like then I'm
No.
shot or something. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm signing autographs, bro. I'm like, I even write in English towel guy. So in case they try and sell this later on, there some poor fool's not out there like, whose autograph is on this? Like, I know this guy and this guy, but who's this guy? So I literally wrote like towel guy.
I go to Brazil every year. I actually just booked a trip to go to Carnival, and I ended up in the wrong neighborhood last year in Rio, and I rounded a corner, middle of the daylight, rounded a corner. I was trying to get this restaurant, and I rounded the corner, and there's a dude picking back on his steps, with no shirt on. He had a 45 on his chest, and I just stopped in my tracks, and I looked at him. I go, "Todo bien?" And he said the name of the restaurant and pointed. In every corner and staircase I went around, there was the guy with the 45 waving me through to try to get me to this restaurant.
Oh, dude, you had like a parade, bro. That's legit.
Well, they knew. they're not going to fuck with the restaurant that up the hill because the restaurant probably hires a bunch of people from the neighborhood, you know?
100%. Yeah, they're like, my family gets tips out of that place. Yeah, go there.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking funny, dude. I was like,
Leave a good tip.
Yeah.
That's how you get good tips.
Yep.
That was
Funny
fun,
shit.
man.
That's awesome.
What'd you guys talk about today? What was the topic of the episode?
We
Did
mostly.
you guys film today?
I don't know. Did we?
Yeah.
We mostly talked about what it was like being Ron Wilkerson's assistant and what the criteria should be for future Ron Wilkerson assistants. And honestly, I don't know. There's many humans built for it, so I'm gonna have to kind of do some soul searching and come up with the criteria, I guess. And then we talked about 24 and more. What else did we talk about? Warren's
cornhole career.
Warren's cornhole career.
Lots of cornhole talk.
Hey, Isaac, I have a question. You sent me a message a while ago about you and I think Mike Miranda at a pizza place in Arizona. Tell that story.
Dude, this is the wildest story. So it's called Spinelli's Pizza, right? And so you can look them up. They actually sponsor a BMX team because it's a pizza place that the dude just loves BMX. And so and they're from the East Coast. And so the funniest thing, dude, is he's like, I go in there with Mike Miranda one night, and the guy's like, man, we took a ride out. So like 200 kids show up on bikes in front of this guy's pizza place. And he's like, dude, bikes. And he was just so stoked. So Mike Miranda's there. We're talking. I'm like, do you know Mike Miranda? He's like, Hollywood Mike Miranda? And Mike's like, just Mike Miranda, just Mike. But yeah. And the guy's like, dude, no way. So he takes a selfie. And he goes, dude, he's like, I grew up BMXing. He's like, and he goes, but there wasn't anybody famous like where I lived. He's like, we had this like one guy that was like the neighbor, everyone in the neighborhood knew him. And he's like, he didn't say Large Ray, he just said Ray, and then he slaughtered your last name, Ray.
Schleckweg.
He goes, it was like Ray Schwartz, and he just like messed up the last name. And I was like,
I gotta figure out who this dude is. I looked on that Spinelli thing, but I didn't recognize him or know him. I don't think.
Dude, I'll find his name because
yeah.
Miranda's like, he goes, Large Ray, and the guy goes, well, I mean, he was a bigger kid, and I was like, dude, that's Large Ray, that's his name, that's what everyone called him. And he's like, he goes, no way. I was like, yeah. And I go, dude, he was as famous as everybody. He's like, dude, he like everyone knew him in our neighborhood because he had the good bike. He had a freestyle bike. He's like, we all just had like whatever our moms could get, you know. And he's like, but like, good bike.
He's probably thinking of Gary Pollock, and just because I was hanging with Gary always said that I never had a good bike till I was 30.
That's funny, dude.
When eBay showed up.
Dude, that's hilarious. But yeah, he had a whole story, dude. We'll have to get Miranda on one of these days and have him tell it, because it was really funny to hear. I'm like, what a small world. I was like, of all the people.
I saw the guy on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram now, and he's definitely from the Philadelphia area. So it's probably a dude from somewhere around where I live, and then he moved out to Arizona to start a pizza shop.
I told him King of Prussia. I was
there.
like, King of Prussia, like around there. He's like, yeah. But he didn't tell me like that's where he lived. I was just like,
yeah.
I know 2 cities in Pennsylvania, like Philly and King of Prussia and York.
Yeah.
I know York.
And York, yeah.
No, 3 places, dude.
3 places.
That's the only cities I've ever heard of. But yeah, it was random, dude. It was that was good pizza though.
There you
go.
go.
The pizza would have to be good if he was from Philly.
They make a mac and cheese pizza. It's literally pizza with mac and cheese on top and bacon.
That's not pizza.
They make one that's like a loaded baked potato. So it's pizza with red potatoes on it, and then sour cream, chives, bacon. It's amazing, dude. It sounds gross, but it's amazing.
No, it sounds fantastic, but that's a casserole. That's not pizza.
That's a
Oh, dude.
casserole. So New Haven, Connecticut, where I live, happens to
Is
be
the pizza capital of the world.
pizza capital of the world.
It is.
Really?
Yeah. If
Oh, yeah.
you watch any of the Barstool stuff, he is a huge New Haven pizza fan. There's like 4 places here, including one about 3 blocks from my house, that literally has a line. Bars
Bar
going,
pizza.
but that's the third best, Ray. Third best.
No, that's the second best. We went to the third best. The first place you took us was the third best, and Barn goes, "When do we get to go to the second and first?"
I told him you don't get to go to the best one. Like, what? That's a letdown. But pizza is a huge pizza town, and it's famous for it. People wait hours in line, like on weekends. It's shit's crazy.
That sounds like
clam and
Austin
bacon.
barbecue.
Right,
Dude, the clam and bacon with a little lemon on it is like I would drive there now if Kevin was like, "Hey, I'm not doing anything at 10 o'clock tonight and they're open till 12." I'm like, "All right, I'm getting in the car." It's that good.
Clams Casino.
So
Dude,
good.
I don't know. Like, I'm the same way though about that dude's pizza place, Spinelli's. If you were to call me and be like, they got mac and cheese pizza tonight, get down here, like so and so's here.
Yeah,
Well, I'll go. I'm in. I'm yes for that.
yeah. I love the pizza. I try to eat one a week. That's my But I'm on my second antihypertensive med, so gotta eat.
Jeez.
Aren't we all?
You'll be fine.
Yeah, whatever.
My girl had that issue, and she switched to the carnivore diet, and she lost 30 pounds, and all of her numbers are amazing.
Really?
All she eats is steak and bacon and chicken and just meat.
Wow.
Oh,
And you would
get her
think
cholesterol checked.
Yeah, I was going to say, you would think her cholesterol would just be through the roof, and it's perfect.
That's funny.
Wow.
I stopped drinking booze for the most part, which has helped quite a
Quitter.
bit. Only because I have gout. Any of you guys have gout?
No, but
Well,
I heard it's very painful.
It's the worst thing ever. And I mean, nothing. I wouldn't say. I mean, I guess I was an alcoholic, but nothing motivates sobriety like agonizing
I
pain.
was an alcoholic. If you're an alcoholic and you have to guess, maybe you're an alcoholic.
Well, just an alcoholic
good.
by sheer numbers. I mean, I was putting up some Hall of Fame stats.
There's a difference between an alcoholic and somebody that just likes to drink. I mean, come on.
He was a functioning alcoholic.
Totally
Well, I
functioning.
mean, I don't know.
But no,
there's some people who are stoned 24/7 and somehow they can make it through life, and I don't understand it. But
I've seen people like that.
With alcohol, you can do the same thing apparently.
yeah, but you know what the difference is? Like I use more weed now. I went up quite a bit on the THC.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
But I'm not. But I wait until like dark, and I have to be home. But like, I don't feel hungover, which is fantastic. You know, I like that part of it. And you know, the booze is far less healthy. I mean, I don't think the weed's necessarily good for you either. But
have you been watching a lot of Cheech and Chong movies lately?
No.
Sometimes.
No.
No. Okay.
No, I
Watch a little bit too much Joe Rogan. Now you're like,
Yeah.
now I'm
going down.
the
No. You just go down some deep rabbit holes on YouTube, man. You're
Yeah.
like, holy shit. I was watching bank robbery videos. What the fuck happened?
Bank robbery videos.
dude.
Dude, we pick when I'm at the firehouse. Some days on slow days, we pick a subject and we just watch. Like let's watch lions maul people all day. Boom, we'll just watch lion after.
Yeah,
Dude, I've been there. I was there recently, dude, where I was like, I literally started watching like how to edit 360 video, and like 3 hours later I'm like knee deep in why Nicki Minaj is the leader of the Illuminati, and I'm in it, bro. I'm like, I have opinions about it now. Like I've formed like hypotheses about it, you know.
And you didn't even know how you got there. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's somewhere along the journey. Someone made a mansion. They dug a mansion in a field and made a pool out of like fake cement that they dug up as well. Like, dude, I started in BMX editing, somebody digging a mansion in a hole in the ground in the middle of like the Philippines, and then Nicki Minaj is running the Illuminati. Thank you.
Makes
Well,
sense.
That's a good heads up. I didn't know that.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
knows that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, catch up, bro.
I know.
Smoke
No,
less
I'm
weed.
behind it. I got to get up. I'm glad we got to have these calls once a week now.
Just sharing our YouTube algorithm.
Yeah. I don't want to miss something like that again. Jesus. Now tonight when I get home, dude, I'm going right down the Nicki Minaj rabbit hole.
Dude,
Doing it.
I'll be honest, man. My YouTube algorithm is it's just video editing, BMX, and true crime. That's literally what it is. Like,
Is it?
I will sit there all day long, dude. I will put on documentaries about who killed who just to try and figure out like what's going on, dude. And I think it's because like y'all are the same. Like 80s kids, you think about like kids today, they're worried about like fentanyl and all that stuff, dude. I was legit worried I was gonna get like kidnapped and serial killed. Like that was big, that was a big deal in California. We had like the California rapist was there, or the California killer.
Oh yeah, the Night Stalker. There
The
was
Night
the
Stalker.
BTC killer or something like that, or BTK.
He was by you guys.
Killer.
He was in Kansas City. He was over by
Yeah, he
James.
was a KC
Oh,
guy.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had the Zodiac, we had the Night Stalker.
How about the one guy that just got caught? There was a guy that did a whole bunch of shit back in the 80s and early 90s, and then he retired from killing people. And then through the whole DNA thing, they're like, all right, well, there's 7 women here that are related to this guy. It's like the guy's like 6th cousin. And then they go to his house, they take a cigarette butt out of a fucking trash can. They're like, this is the killer. And the next thing you know, this guy's like, I haven't killed or raped anybody in 26 years, and they nab him and throw him in jail.
That's because they all get on 23andMe. And that's exactly what it is. They get on 23andMe and they just have old DNA they've been hanging on to a bandana from like 1973.
Yep.
And fucking boom. Guess what, Dick?
Yeah. You know that dude's like looking at his like ninth cousin removed, going, I knew I fucking hated that kid. You had to go and like you had to go do a DNA test to try and figure out like how European you are, and now I'm in jail. Thanks a lot. You know what I mean? Like, but dude, that was Ray. That was the they call him the East Area Rapist or the California.
That was him.
He was bad, dude. Like, even though like Zodiac is way more famous because of the letters and all that, but Zodiac only really 6 people. And that dude killed like 6 people in a month.
Yeah, he was a maniac. Maniac.
Just that guy, like you think about it, and I'm just that's a weird one because you're like, yeah, he's 85, he's killing nobody anymore. But like, bro, you were like absolute pure evil. Like you have to be taken out. Like
that's crazy. They say there's 1,500 serial killers in operation at any given moment.
How many? 50?
In the U.S.,
And
what's it? What do
you got to do to be a serial killer? What do you got to do to be a serial killer? Kill more than
one person. Kill more than one person. You're a serial killer.
Damn.
I think
that's crazy.
For me, the definition is like if you premeditate about and you premeditate, you kill someone, and then you kill somebody else a different day. Like you have to grow, you have to like be like, this is my jam. And now that's when I think you're a serial
crazy.
Like if you're just like, if you're John Wicking it out there, that's not a serial killer. That's just justice, right?
So you're saying there's a difference between murder and serial killer?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think you get like someone goes out and is like, okay, I'm gonna get all these like dudes that like did me dirty in this like tax refund scam. You know what I mean? Like if you're out getting like everyone from like the LuLaBro, you know, like they got you into some weird MLM, that makes sense. That's personal. But if you're just going out like randomly, you know, I think I'm gonna kill somebody that's wearing like a red sweatshirt tonight because, you know, I don't like Paddington the Bear. All right, dude, now that's the person we need to go after. Like that kind of Paddington the Bear killer.
And they don't just do it, they research on how to not get caught. That's the fascinating part to me.
They're getting really
and now
good
it's
at
probably harder between between like cell phones, like they can follow you around on your cell phone. There's cameras, DNA. It's probably harder to be a serial killer.
The cops I work with tell me that 90% of all crime now is solved because of cellular technology.
Yeah, because your
Cell
phone will
phones
tell
and
you
Ring
where you are.
doorbells.
Your phone can tell you. I mean, if I get in the car right now and drive to Philly and back, they'll know exactly which route I took. You know what I mean? They can just find it.
Also what you've searched on your phone. Like, there's just,
Right.
it's just, you know, you can't. You know, it's a hard time to be a criminal. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Glad I got all my crimes out of the way in the 80s.
I know. I'm done doing all my crimes.
No, you're right with that, because my girl, she's a forensic.
There you go.
Forensic analyst, a digital forensics analyst. That's what she does for a living. And it doesn't matter what software, what device you're using. She can tell you everything that's ever happened on it since you got it. Except for Snapchat.
So, like,
that's the only one she
so
can't
like
do.
she goes. So like she'll come home one day and be like, "So I see that you've been on Pornhub again, and so why is it like these two girls are looking at each other? That's what you like? Is this what you like?" And you're like, "Pornhub, what's that?"
No, I don't even try to lie.
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
I know better.
There's two words I never. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bud.
There's two words that I never thought would go together, and you'll appreciate it because that's what your girlfriend does. Forensic accounting.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can imagine.
Dude, they can go back and look at every transaction you've ever made. Like, think about that. That's some deep ass shit.
Wow,
Yeah, if you
I
really
didn't even think of that one.
I haven't touched paper money, dude, in like 6 months.
I don't even have a mechanism to use it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if I have a $20 bill, I got to spend it before I lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense.
I used to keep my, in fact, I spent it. I used to keep like money in my back of my phone.
I still do. See? It's my emergency $5.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
$5? What are you, an
emergency.
11-year-old girl?
You can't get anything with $5.
No, that's gotta be my son has
in
the
my
same
phone
thing,
for a
but it's
while.
100. He's from the streets. My son's got 100 in the back because he knows. I'm like, Elliot, how'd you pay for that pizza? Oh, I just used my emergency 100. I'm like, okay. My emergency 5. What do you think? It's 1970?
Well, it's been in there for. I'm not one of these guys who gets a new phone every year. My phone is like 4 or 5 years old. So when I originally put that money in there, $5 I could still buy a McDonald's meal.
No, you got to keep up with the rate of inflation, dude. You got to keep up.
Dude, I went through Taco Bell the other day. It was like $18. I was like, for Taco Bell? What the hell is this?
Yeah.
You couldn't even imagine you could spend $18 at Taco Bell 25 years ago. You'd be like,
no, they had $59, $79, $99.
You would have fed the whole neighborhood for $18.
Right.
Yeah, you would.
Well,
there used to be a challenge. There used to be a challenge in the 80s, in the late 80s. Can you eat $10 worth of McDonald's food? And they're like, I don't know, it's kind of hard. And now it's like, now you need 20 just to go there.
Dude, I haven't been to McDonald's in years, and I just went to one a few months ago. I was in Indonesia, and I went to one in Bali. Like, the whole process of ordering and how you get your food is all on the touch screen.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's crazy, dude. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't eat fast food, but it's good when you're sick to your stomach from eating foreign food. That's for
you know what we're doing right now, guys? We're talking like a bunch of old people. What are you talking about? Back in the day,
I remember.
My hip hurts.
We are straight up old.
My story was.
When I'm at work, I have to preface some stories with before cell phones because the story makes zero sense otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, we're older than Google. Think about that. That's what I tell kids to freak out.
We're older than a lot of shit. We're way older than a lot of other shit than Google. Google's nothing.
I like that though. We are older than Google.
True.
Dude, I was about to tell the story of talk about 80s challenges. Me and my roommate used to go through Taco Bell and we'd each have like the Stoney's $5. And the goal was we'd get home and weigh our bags. Like you'd have to take out all the condiments, like all the packets, all the napkins, but just weigh your food, and whoever got the heavier bag won. Like, oh, I'm gonna be more full than you are off of my $5. And it was pretty legit. Like you just
Yeah.
find the like the beans weigh the most, so you'd like try and go heavy on the beans, like the bean burritos, and then you'd get like a free side of nacho cheese, and then you could dip your burrito in the cheese, and you had a cheesy burrito without paying for it. Like,
Sounds good.
It was a hack.
we tried all like the little hacks to try and get the most food out of $5, but yeah, nowadays it ain't happening. But
No, nowhere.
I mean,
I
Kevin, think about back in the day when teams went on tour. They had a roadmap and cash.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, or and a credit card. But I mean, like, they didn't have a phone. They didn't have a GPS. They didn't have email. They didn't. I mean, like kids today will never have to do the thing. Like, oh, I got tickets to a baseball game. Okay, well, we'll meet you there. Hey, meet me by the statue. You know what I mean? We'd have to always meet by the Mike Schmidt statue when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And now it's like there's none of that. You just because everyone's got a cell phone.
I'm not a person that doesn't welcome technology, because I think technology is amazing, and we've made so many huge strides because of it. But I will tell you one part of technology that does not work in the emergency world very well. It's GPS. It's fucking GPS. Because now imagine, like, the ambulance company that I work for part-time, they turn people over so quickly, and they hire brand new EMTs, and you get killed there, and you do all this high volume shit for a couple of years, and then you go to nursing school, or you become a cop, or you do whatever. So it's always young people, and they all are completely dependent on GPS. Like, they don't know, maps are a thing of the past. Like, nobody knows anything about that. But when you're in the back of an ambulance with a critical patient and you're doing patient care, you're so focused on what you're happening. But after a while, you're kind of anticipating turns. And if you don't turn for a while, you're like, what's wrong? And then you look out the back window and realize that you are 2 towns away from where you're supposed to be. And you're like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And the kid's like, the GPS, it had me go this way, because there's no particular GPS that is specific to emergency vehicles. So it just wants to send you the fastest way it thinks to send you. And it's not always the fastest way when you can run lights and go down one-way streets and shit like that. And it's a real hindrance. So if I'm in the back,
you got to get that app, dude. Get that app going, dude. You'll be a gazillionaire.
I know. So I got to pay attention now to where we are, because I don't know where we're going to end up if I don't fucking keep my eye on it.
That's opportunity waiting to happen, because Ray knows the guy who invented GPS. So I would imagine, like
he lives down the street.
He lives down the street. They have trucker GPS. Like, there's a specific GPS now. So if you're trucking, you don't end up going down a street that has a 10-foot railroad bridge and rip the top of the truck off. You know what I mean? So you can do it for emergency vehicles. I just don't know how that algorithm would work.
I'll have to talk to that guy, Stoney, when I see him tomorrow walking to work.
Just be like, yo, I got $1 billion idea.
Yeah. Dude, I've had so many ideas that I missed out on, like with apps. I'm so mad at myself.
Bro, I can tell you the funniest one. My old roommate, the guy that we used to weigh Taco Bell with, because we would stay up like, okay, so I was I was a tattoo artist, and I bounced at a bar. So I wouldn't get home until 3 a.m. And he owned a video store, and so he wouldn't get home until midnight. So he would always come to my apartment, bring DVDs, and then we would just watch his free movies from his store at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were all just sitting around, and we met at an internet place, an internet company. So we were just like, I was like, bro, if you got a T1 line and now you can burn DVDs, I was like, you have access to a catalog that you can order from. Why don't you just do like pay for it at a vending machine that'll burn the disc?
He invented Netflix.
Dude.
No, Redbox.
So I end up getting married. I moved to Arizona to work at GoDaddy, and I don't see him for about 2 years. And then I'm leaving a store, and I see a Redbox, and I was like, bro, this is my buddy's thing. And my wife was like, there's no way, that's crazy, that's so cool. So I make the call to go, hey bro, I'm outside one of your vending machines. Cause when I left, he was talking, like he had talked to like angel investors and had some like venture capital people that were like, it ain't gonna work. So I call him out front of a store with a red box going, hey bro, I'm so excited for you. Check this out. Like one of your boxes is here. He's like, yeah, it never panned out, but someone took my idea and like ran with it. And I was like,
Oh, snap.
dude, I was like, that sucks,
Uh,
bro. So not only did he not like, he had the idea for Redbox. His idea was going to be the entire movie catalog. So it was going to be not just new releases. It was like rent it. We would burn it right then and there. And then afterwards sell it to like Blockbuster for the $9 bin, you know, when you're done.
Yeah.
After it's made its money, because you only have to rent it like 6 times. So that was the idea.
I came up with an idea a few years back to revolutionize the smoke detector business and actually save lives. And I ended up getting a patent attorney because one of the guys at work was like, "That's a really good idea." And we went down the rabbit hole and found out that Honeywell captured a similar technology 20 years ago and killed it. So the lawyer we talked to is like, we can do this and probably make hundreds of millions of dollars. But if Honeywell steps up and sues us, we're going to have to pay them hundreds of millions of dollars and 10 cents. And you're going to lose everything.
Mhm.
So he goes, if you want to go take that ride, I'll do it. I was like, no, fuck this dude, I'm out.
Yeah.
Funny.
Oh.
And then the best is when you come up with ideas and you're like, this would be the best idea ever. And then you find out somebody invented it 25 years ago. You're like, motherfucker.
Right?
Fuck.
Yeah. Coffee's
Funny.
a generational business, fellas.
Yeah. Exactly.
Can't just break into it.
Gentlemen, I have to bounce out. So
Yeah, I do too.
I'm going to
guys.
take off. We're all taking off. Isaac, it was great talking to you, brother.
yes.
Yeah,
Hope to
sorry
talk to you
I
again
didn't have a
soon.
better pro wrestling career, man. That would have been fun.
No, it's good. It's good.
We're still young. We can still make it happen.
Dude,
Here
I'm
we
in.
are.
If you choreograph it and you'll teach me, I'm in.
Kevin Warren and I will be up soon to have some pizza.
Yeah, let's
Sometime
plan.
within
You
the
want
next
you want
couple months.
I was gonna call you anyway. You want to meet in New York in the next couple of weeks? We'll just go and have lunch or dinner or something.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. We can totally
All right,
do it.
cool.
Good
All
to
right,
see you
cool.
guys. I'll see you.
All right, guys,
Love,
take
care,
peace,
everybody.
and chicken grease. Peace out.
care. See ya.